All right, so test, 1, 2, test, 1,
check.
2.
Broadcasting more than 2,000 games live and archived in 15 sports in over 10 counties in western Pennsylvania, as well as being the exclusive home for all the WPIAL playoffs and championships for nearly 2 decades. Anytime, anywhere, always there. We are the MSA Sports Network.
Welcome to WPIAL Football 2017 here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com. This evening in our video stream game of the week, it's a Class 6A non-conference battle of top 3 teams as the Pine-Richland Rams face the Bethel Park Blackhawks. High school football on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com, is sponsored by UPMC Sports Medicine, by Carlow University, by Dollar Bank, by AstroTurf, by Chick-fil-A Robinson, by WQED, by Management Science Associates, and by Trib Total Media. Now, let's head out to Bethel Park High School along with Jess Levo. Here's Cory Campano and Steve Nagler with all the action.
From Bethel Park, it's Bethel Park High School, the Blackhawks hosting the Rams, Bethel Park and Pine-Richland. As Don Rebel mentioned, number 1 versus number 3 here, Pine-Richland. Obvious connotations known with what they've been dealing with. Jerkovic, their quarterback, the injury last season. He looks fully recovered and better than ever coming into this season. Off to a hot start are the Pine-Richland Rams, nearly as everyone expected. Maybe not so much on the other side for Bethel Park, but Bethel Park loves the position they're in, and they have a chance to take an absolutely huge step forward here tonight at home on homecoming night as they host the Rams. My partner Steve Nagler's here with me, Jess Levo on camera. It's our video stream game of the week. And Steve, I don't know if we could have asked for a better night for football and a better matchup here, what we will see in front of us in just a few minutes.
Yeah, clear skies, about 80 degrees. It is warm. It is humid. There's going to be a factor of conditioning here tonight. It's something you don't normally get late in September. You're used to dealing with it late August, early September. But this is about as good as you're going to find a non-conference matchup being. Neither one of these teams have really been tested so far. Pine-Richland is 4-0. They demolished a very good Wayne, Ohio team from the Dayton area, a game that was expected to be very tightly contested in Week 0. They defeated Wayne by the score of 41-0. They went on in Week 1 to defeat Mount Lebanon 53-29, demolished Seneca Valley on the road 42-7. and did the same thing to Penn Hills last week, defeating them 43-6. This is a very solid team under Eric Kasparovich all the way around. You mentioned Phil Jerkovic, the outstanding Notre Dame recruit under the helm at quarterback. He has completed 71% of his passes for over 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns on the year, only 2 interceptions, and he is the second leading rusher on this Pine-Richland Rams team. He doesn't mind pulling it down and trying to get big chunks of yardage with his feet. He also has 6 touchdowns on the ground. A team that is a little bit injured in the backfield. Kenny White, the senior, has not played a lot so far in the first 4 games, but they have gotten good running from Jordan Crawford, who is averaging 6.6 yards per carry, has 4 touchdowns. We'll also see some of Ryan Geyer and Luke Meckler at the running back position. Jason DeFrancis, Ray Falcone, Ben Jochum, just 3 of a stable of excellent wide receivers for this Rams team. Those 3 young men have caught 47 passes for nearly 900 yards and 8 touchdowns. This team has 6 receivers that have caught at least 5 passes. So they're very hard to defend just because of the sheer number of weapons they have on offense. But that's not all for Pine-Richland. They are also very good defensively. They are the leading the Northern 7 in points per game surrendered at just over 10 points per game.
And we will talk more about Bethel Park, their opponent, right after the national anthem here at Bethel Park High School. Nicely done rendition of the national anthem by the Bethel Park High School Band here on homecoming night from Bethel Park. And let's dive right back into it, Steve. As you were talking about Pine-Richland, Kenny White, want to highlight him, has not played. Suffered the knee injury early on in the first game against the school from Ohio, Wayne High School. Jordan Crawford's done more than fill in the void there, and once Kenny White comes back, which most people think may be in 2 weeks or so, the end of the month and early next month is the aimed return for Kenny White, and should have one of the best running tandems in the WPIAL if he were to come back to full health. On the other side, quite the running tandem of their own in Bethel Park. You've got Tanner Volpatti and John Delano, who are just about as offsetting of running backs as you could hope for. They both run the football in different styles, but Bethel Park loves to hold on to the football and run it as often as possible. And time of possession is huge for them, maybe more in this game than ever.
Yeah, Volpatti is a north-south runner, big, strong, 5'10", 190-pound senior, likes to take it between the tackles, has been very successful. Delano, a little bit more of kind of the scat back type, very quick coming out of the backfield. He's much smaller, 5 feet 6 inches tall, only 150 pounds, also a senior. But the key to their success has really been the push up front. They are very, very solid in terms of their offensive line, led by James Gamitter at the right tackle position. But Dan Kwiatkowski, Liam Williams, Gavin Vargesco, and Connor Woolley, the other 4 offensive linemen, very big, very athletic, and they have done a great job in opening up holes for both Volpatti and Delano offensively. This is a team that would prefer to keep the football on the ground under head coach Jeff Matheny, especially tonight against the very high-powered Pine-Richland Rams offense. They want to be successful on the ground, win the time of possession, long drives that will keep the ball out of the hands of Rams quarterback Phil Jerkovic, and they're going to do that with that offensive line. Luke Sarunas will probably get the start at the quarterback position, but we'll see some of Anthony Chickett as well. Usually it's first half, second half scenario. Sarunas in the first half getting the start for Jeff Matheny, Chickett coming on in the second half. Neither one of these young men have had to throw the football so far an awful lot, as Bethel Park has won decisively in their first 3 games. And if it's up to Jeff Matheny, he'd rather keep the ball out of the air. They're 2 fairly good quarterbacks. They can throw it, but haven't had to an awful lot so far. Talk about defense, a very good Bethel Park defense. They are number 2 in the Southeast Conference, having given up less than 10 points per game.
And Bethel Park, just to go off of what you mentioned, Steve, with the time of possession, long drives, they probably need to score to cap off those long drives as well when you're facing an elusive offense on the other side of the football field in Pine-Richland. There's really nothing better that we could ask for when it comes to a non-conference matchup. You could see the crowd here tonight is just spectacular on homecoming night in Bethel Park. We are above the Bethel Park stands. It is full to the brim, and across the way, Pine-Richland on that long hike from Gibsonia has traveled pretty well themselves. Steve, you mentioned Pine-Richland 4-0. Bethel Park 3-0. Offense has been good. Defense has been good on each side of the football. They limit mistakes, and it really is going to be a matter of who can play sound football tonight and not make the first mistake that could be a costly one. In Bethel Park, if there's any time that you want to come out and upset the number 1 team in the WPIAL, it's on your homecoming night in front of your home crowd.
Well, it sure is, and the other key is these 2 teams very familiar with each other. They played in the regular season last year. They also played in the first round of the playoffs, a very tightly contested Pine-Richland win in the first round without their quarterback, Phil Jerkovic. But I think what you're thinking, if you're both head coaches, is yes, we're playing in the regular season. It's non-conference. Theoretically doesn't mean as much, but you're positioning yourself, trying to give your team confidence for what might happen in the postseason. I think these 2 teams are definitely destined for the postseason, and who knows, they might play again in just a few weeks. So it'll be interesting to see how these coaches come out and coach here tonight. Do you play it tight, close to the vest, maybe not show the opponent a whole lot, or do you come out and really look to be firing on all cylinders and maybe, essentially, kind of laying the groundwork for a mental advantage if you end up facing the opposing team again in the postseason?
Not an advantage, really. An advantage doesn't lean either way too much on paper. Pine-Richland number 1 in our rankings. Number 3 is Bethel Park. We'll step away and take a short break. Be right back for the opening kickoff as you're listening and watching to WPIAL Football 2017 here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
Back here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com. Steve Nagler's with me. I'm Cory Campano. Jess Levo on camera for you tonight. And as you watch on your dial, Bethel Park in the all-black jerseys, black helmets, white numbers with the orange trim. They are set to kick it off. Pine-Richland won the toss and elected to receive. They are in the all-white jerseys, white top, white pants with the green numbers, dark green outline, green helmets, and the ever so popular silver Ram logo on each side of the helmet. On to kickoff for Bethel Park. It's number 82, John Gummo. And they are just waiting for the official word, or official whistle, I should say, from the official. We are off. Gummo, pooch kick, and it will be received at the 26-yard line for Pine-Richland, up across the 35 and nearing the 40. So excellent field position for the Rams. That was Cam Belay on the return. And Steve, you got the offensive starters for the Rams.
In the backfield will be quarterback Phil Jerkovic, one of the 8 starting seniors on offense. They start 8 seniors and 3 juniors. He'll be in the backfield with Jordan Crawford. They go 4 wide quite often, and the wideouts will be Frank Falcone, Jason DeFrancis, Dawson Goltz, and Ben Jochum. We'll run down the offensive line after this first play.
And in that 4-wide set, 2 receivers each way, Jurkovic, snap, plenty of time, looks left, and a quick hitter is dropped. Don't get used to seeing that. That was Dawson Goltz on a little out route that had the ball slip through his hands, incomplete.
Offensive line, Andrew Kristofic, the junior at right tackle, Michael Kadick, I should say, a junior, as we go to second play of the game here.
Jurkovic again goes right back to Goltz. Goltz the catch, makes a man miss across midfield, and a great gain for Pine-Richland as Jurkovic went right back to Goltz for a gain of 15.
Yeah, 16 yards. The center is Mike Durando, Parker Boyd, the left guard, and Grant Lemerandi, the left tackle.
Bethel Park out in that base 3-4 defense against Jurkovic and the Rams. He gives to his back Jordan Crawford, and he's swallowed up immediately. In there to make the tackle defensively, the big number 74 on that line, James Gamitter. Get used to hearing his name tonight, Steve.
Yeah, he is a force both offensively and defensively. He plays right on the nose.
2-yard gain officially. Pine-Richland right to work. Quick hitter on the outside. There's Jason DeFrancis, makes a catch, makes a man miss, and is bumped out of bounds at around the Bethel Park 33-yard line. That moves the sticks. A first down again for Pine-Richland, and look how quickly they are moving today. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Crawford in the backfield with Jurkovic on a 1st and 10. Jurkovic gives to Crawford. Up the middle, nothing there.
Well, the Bethel Park Blackhawks have done a good job stuffing the run so far. Not so great against the pass. Jurkovic, a good start. He's 2 for 3 so far for 27 yards, and the incompletion was a flat-out drop by Goltz.
No gain there for Crawford. 2nd and 10 from the 33. Jurkovic with 3 receivers to the left will fake to Crawford. Looks to the lone man on the right, and cutting across and making a catch is Ray Falcone. All the way down inside the 15. They're going to mark him down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line, and a big pickup of 25 from Jurkovic to Falcone.
Oh, what a great pass. That was a laser beam, just a simple deep slant.
1st and goal. Jurkovic, bubble screen out to the left. DeFrancis makes the catch, and a great job by the linebacker, Tiger Burks, to run over and make that stop. No gain on the play, maybe even lost a few.
And Burks stepped up and kind of realized the formation and made a very decisive move toward the line of scrimmage.
Officially a loss of 1. 2nd and goal from the 9. Jurkovic on the rollout, throws to the short man, and catch is made there and knocked out of bounds inside the 5 at the 3. And that looked like it was number 24, Ryan Geyer, on the reception, and it was. So big 3rd down here on each side, Steve.
Yeah, it really is. Bethel Park's defense certainly back on its heels because of the success of the offense so far, but they can get a big stop here.
3rd and goal. Jurkovic on a design QB draw, runs right up the middle and dives towards the goal line. Touchdown, Pine-Richland. It's Phil Jurkovic's 7th rushing touchdown of the season from 3 yards out, and just like that, not even 2 minutes off the board, and Pine-Richland leads at 6-0.
Well, in short yardage, it's nice having a quarterback that's 6'5", 220, and ultra athletic. That time, just following the right guard and right tackle, went behind Kristofic and Kadick, and able to get into the end zone with no problem.
On the kick for Pine-Richland is Orsini. That one's up right down the middle and good. 10-10 remaining in the first quarter. It's Rams 7, Bethel Park. The Blackhawks have their chance on offense next. It's 2017 WPIAL football on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDrivesYou. Carlo University, a proud sponsor of the MSA Sports Network.
Back on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com. Cory Campano, Steve Nagler with me. Jess Levo on camera. Jess not next to us tonight in the booth, a full level above us here in the Bethel Park press box, but she's got a great seat, as do we, right at the 50. 7-0 Pine-Richland. They scored on their first drive. Orsini boots it deep, and what a great boot it was into the end zone for a touchback, so no return chance for Bethel Park. As they come out for their first drive, Steve, how important is this, as you saw, not even 2 minutes off the clock, Bethel Park, to sustain this clock and time of possession?
Well, it's going to be important, and they're going to have to be patient. And even though they're down 7-0, they can't get out of their game plan and do what they want to do. Under head coach Jeff Matheny, in the backfield will be Luke Sarunas, the quarterback. He'll be back there with Tanner Volpatti and fullback Luke Matola. Wideouts, Austin Lewis, Jarrett Yantic, and the tight end is David Opferman, and run down the offensive line after this first play.
1st and 10 from the 20. Sarunas under center, sends a man in motion, gives to Volpatti. Volpatti off the right side, and he's going to go nowhere. Loss of 2, and that is not Luke Sarunas under center. It is Anthony Chickett, number 18. We weren't really sure who was going to start tonight. They both rotate in. Chickett gets the start tonight. Number 18 in black is a 6'1" sophomore.
Offensive line on the right side, the tackle is James Gamitter, the guard Dan Kwiatkowski. On the left side, the guard Gavin Vargesco and Connor Woolley. The tackle, Liam Williams, is the center.
9:35 and counting. Officially a loss of 1 for Volpatti. 2nd and 11 from the 19. High formation. 2 receivers to the left. Chickett. Play action. He'll look to the left. Has man-to-man coverage down the middle, and there was some serious contact as that ball is overthrown, incomplete, but a flag thrown. And probably the easiest call an official can make there is Thomas Burns basically ran over John Delano in the middle of the field.
Delano had a step on him, and actually might have been a good penalty to take. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty, but if Delano gets behind the last line of defense, then who knows? Maybe it goes for a big hitter. Honestly, I think Bethel Park's going to have to throw the ball more than they have so far, maybe more than they have total in the first 3 games to loosen up this defense, because right now there is so many white jerseys jamming the line of scrimmage, knowing that Bethel Park wants to run the football.
You saw Delano pretty open there on the first play-action pass of the game. Now I formation again. Give to the fullback up the middle, and again, as you said, Steve, up the middle, there's just no room. Matola had really a nice effort just to fight for 2 yards up the middle. The fullback wearing number 34 for Bethel Park will get the ball more often than most fullbacks in the WPIAL. That one, a gain of 2.
And you see the Bethel Park Blackhawks taking their time, getting into the huddle. A lot different than the pacing of the Pine-Richland Rams offense. It was very fast-paced in their first drive.
Now Chickett in at quarterback. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Chickett looks to that lone man out to the right. And again, a lot of contact out there. Late flag flies. And I would assume that would be on Thomas Burns again. Whether that's pass interference or holding, I'm not sure. But Chickett kind of just lofted it up there as he saw a man on the far side. I believe that was James Crandall. And it went incomplete, but we'll see what the call is.
Yeah, it's going to be either defensive pass interference or holding. Either way, Burns has to be a little bit more, I don't know what to say. He just has
Sneaky,
to be, no kidding. He is very, very physical with the receivers so far. He has been penalized now twice for defensive pass interference.
And James Crandall, this is his first game back in a couple weeks, was injured and was the targeted man there. Penalty puts him at the 49 of Pine-Richland. Give off the right side, Volpatti, and he is stuffed again. No gain, and Pine-Richland, again, nearly 3 or 4 jerseys swarmed in there. Volpatti, just not much room.
Yeah, right now, Bethel Park, and I think they realize it because they've thrown the ball. They've attempted to throw the ball a couple of times so far here in this opening drive. They need to throw the ball to open up the run a little bit because, again, the Pine-Richland Rams are committing 8-9 players to the line of scrimmage to stop the strong running attack of the Bethel Park Blackhawks.
2nd and 10 with 8 minutes left from the 49-yard line in Pine-Richland territory. Bethel Park, Chickett drops plenty of time, floats one over the middle, incomplete. Crandall fell down. John Delano had his hands on it, went through it for no gain on the incompletion. And it will be a tough 3rd and 10 upcoming.
That's a ball Delano has to catch. Not an easy catch because he knows he's going over the middle amongst the big linebackers of the Pine-Richland Rams. We've talked about the fact Delano not all that big, 5'6" tall, 150 pounds, but many times you're going to get hit anyway. You might as well make the catch.
3rd and 10. Just inside midfield from the 49. Chickett goes under center. 2 backs on the weak side. He sends a man in motion. Now that's full Patty. Chickett, designed rollout to the left. Will look for a man. Has one, and the throw is incomplete again. Delano had an opportunity. The throw was a little behind him, and Delano could not hang on. So after the pass interference call on Thomas Burns, Bethel Park does not gain a yard.
Oh, that ball came out of Chickett's hands really squirrely. It was it wasn't a spiral at all. Yep. It almost looked like it was a knuckleball, and I don't know if it might have been tipped late before it got to Delano. Either way, it was a ball that, again, he probably should have caught.
And we did have a roster number change early on. The punter is Austin Cortopassi, listed 91 on the roster, but switched to 48. That's him with the punt. It's a low liner. And back receiving it at the 19, I believe that's Meckler. Meckler with some room on the sideline, picks up a great block, and it gets across the 30. It's knocked down there, but a flag flew. And I believe it's going to be a penalty thrown against number 34 in white for Pine-Richland, Anthony Sermonera. That looked like a clean block from up here, Steve.
Looked like a clean block, but I think the rule now, Cory, is you cannot block a player or a defenseless player, a player that has not got his head turned around. I think that is the spirit of the rule. And it kind of goes back with all the concussion scenarios that have been, I think, very carefully legislated. So it's going to be a personal foul. It had nothing to do with the block. Technically, it was a very good block, but it was against a defenseless player.
And I apologize for saying that was Meckler. Again, was Ryan Geyer. Jersey numbers a little tough to tell from our vantage point on the Pine-Richland uniforms. Nevertheless, they start with 7 minutes, 40 seconds left in the first quarter and a 7-point lead from their own 15. Jurkovic 5 wide, trying a bubble screen to Raymond Falcone, and it was nearly intercepted. What a read from Austin Lewis at that corner position. Luckily for the Rams, the throw was a little low.
That was a great read by Lewis defensively, and after he got rid of it, Jurkovic got crushed by Gavin Vargesco in the offensive backfield.
Now 2nd and 10 from the 15, and a flag flies before the snap went off. We'll see what the call is. Offsides on Bethel Park. I saw this last week, Steve. Pine-Richland loves to go to that hard count as often as possible, that fake hard count to try and get their opponent to jump off sides. It worked right there. First penalty of the game against the Blackhawks. So 2nd and 5 now from the 20. Jurkovic sends 2 men in motion, back to a 5-wide set. Steps back, 3-step drop, plenty of time. Now moves to his left, rolling away from the pressure. He'll just take off. Across the 20, near first down yardage when he's bumped out of bounds. The athletic ability of Phil Jurkovic is so dangerous when you're a defense that blitzes. Turned that into a 3-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Yeah, you don't see too many quarterbacks as big as Jurkovic move as well as he does. He is 6'5", 220, 230 pounds, and yet when he pulls it down, he's not easy to catch up with because his feet move very quickly.
3rd and 2 from the 23. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Under 7.5 to go in the first quarter. Jurkovic looks to the sideline to his head coach, Kasparovich. Couple men in motion now. Jurkovic, the man to the right, will run the option. Pitches it there. Jordan Crawford gets to the 25 outside and breaks a tackle across the 30. Great little move on the stutter step by Jordan Crawford. Gain of 7 and a first down.
It looked like Bethel Park had it fairly well defended, but the Rams got a good block on the right side. Kristovic, the junior, number 73 at the right tackle position, able to chop down his defender and enabled a good run by Crawford.
Bunch to the left, 4 receivers, and the blocking up front on the bubble screen to Crawford as he gets up across the 45 near midfield. Jurkovic threw the screen out. The 3 receivers in front of Crawford laid the wall. It's a gain of 19 yards. Actually a full 20, up to the 50. First and 10 for Pine-Richland.
What a fast break offense this is. They never really give you a whole lot of time to take a breath, regroup, and they are right back on you, hiking the ball very quickly.
Game plan clearly to throw or get the ball in Jurkovic's hands as he keeps it on the quarterback draw. And 6 yards up the middle, Steve. Looked like there was no room there, and Phil Jurkovic somehow gets 6 yards.
Well, even if he leans forward, I mean, he's about as big as most WPIAL linebackers and bigger than some, and sometimes as big as defensive linemen. So not an easy guy to bring down.
Spread formation again, as they do virtually all night, Pine-Richland. 2 receivers each way. That's Meckler in the backfield with Jurkovic. 6.5 on the clock. 2nd and 4 from the 44-yard line, Bethel Park territory. Give to the left, Meckler, great blocking in front, just virtually runs it out of bounds after a gain of 7. Another first down for Pine-Richland. And up front, we talked a lot about the line of Bethel Park. Boy, does Pine-Richland's line look terrific so far.
Yeah, right now the combination of Kristovic, Kadic, Derundo, Boyd, and Lemberande are really getting the job done, getting a good push, winning that line of scrimmage.
From the 38, Jurkovic looks left, now he'll roll on the run. Look at him run out to the right side, picks up a block at the 35, has room down the sideline and is bumped out of bounds there with first down yardage. But again, Steve, it's going to be that targeting call, that defenseless player on defense that Ray Falcone came back to hit. It was a great block again, but that is a penalty in WPIAL.
Yep, Falcone is going to get penalized for that block where a defender was not looking, did not have his head turned around. So what was a nice gain of 5 on first down is going to be negated by a 15-yard penalty.
I think Jurkovic actually got up to the sticks, but where the block was thrown was 5 yards downfield. And a 15-yard personal foul penalty pushes Pine-Richland back to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, you just have to be smarter, especially when that call was made literally like 5-6 plays ago.
Yeah.
You have to be smarter and know that the officials are watching for that scenario.
So it's 1st and 20 from the 48-yard line for Pine-Richland. 6:11 on the clock in the first quarter. 7-0 Rams. They scored on their first drive of the game on a Phil Jurkovic 3-yard run. In the gun, Jurkovic, option left. He'll pitch it to Crawford. Crawford has room to the outside, gets up across the 47, and he's ran out of bounds there. And again, a late flag flies after it would have been just a gain of 1.
And this very well might be a holding call on Pine-Richland, and it will be. So Pine-Richland going the wrong way. They are behind the sticks, and
that is their 5th penalty of the game already. 2 on defense, 1 on special teams, and their 2nd on offense. What was a 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line in Bethel Park territory is now going to be a 1st and 30 from their own 47.
Well, if there's an offense in the WPIAL that can deal with the 1st and 30, it's probably Pine-Richland. But if you're Eric Kasparovich, you're not happy that you're undisciplined on the offensive side of the football and have taken on 2 major penalties in the last 2 plays.
Eric Kasparovich was arguing that holding call out near the 40, the numbers at the 40. Jurkovic drops on 1st and 30, completes it to Francis on the right side, does a nice job to move his feet up forward across the 50-yard line to the 48. So gets all 10 yards back from that penalty. It'll be 2nd and 20 for Pine-Richland. Meckler checks in at running back. 3 receivers left, Falcone alone on the right side. Jurkovic has Meckler to his left now. Fakes to him. Looks to the left side, all day to throw. Still standing there. Now he'll roll to the right. Looks for help, he'll just take off. Dodges a tackle and steps out of bounds himself across the 45 to the 43-yard line. So a gain of 5, but nice coverage downfield for Bethel Park.
Yeah, it was good coverage. There was no place for Jurkovic to throw the football, and yet he made another good decision to pull that football down and try to gain positive yardage. So instead of 3rd and 20, he's cut it to 3rd and 15. And there are more plays in the Pine-Richland playbook for 3rd and 15 than most.
And especially more than Bethel Park. Jurkovic drops, slant over the middle, wide open receiver, and it's dropped. A great pump fake from Jurkovic. He faked the screen and then floated one over the middle And that was Ben Jokum, who just had it go right through his hands.
That would have been a first down. He would have caught the ball just about the 30-yard line. There's nobody really for Bethel Park in Jokum's proximity. You would have been able to get plenty of yardage on that 3rd and 15. Couple of drops by the Pine-Richland Rams, one by Jokum and the other by Goltz early on in this first quarter.
Campbell on the punt. Pine-Richland took a couple seconds to try and decide, but they will punt it away. John Delano deep for Bethel Park. He's standing at his own 20-yard line. Belay has it go off the side of his foot, and this punt is going to go out of bounds right over head coach Matheny on the sideline. Bethel Park's going to set up at their own 30. So that punt goes for 22 yards and a big stop there. Despite all the penalties, they got some help, but Bethel Park, a huge stop, only down 7, back on offense.
Well, it was a great stop, and they got the football back, but they got a break, and that punt was terrible and not a good punt at all. Figured that they might start this drive inside their own 20-yard line with any kind of a decent punt, but now they get to start with the football on their own 30, and that's a big break.
And it is Chickett at quarterback again. Tiger Burks in the fullback. Lined up in an I formation are the Hawks in motion. Is a man, the tight end, give to Delano in the backfield. Delano breaks a tackle. He has room down the sideline, across the 40, across the 50. Being chased by a couple defenders inside the 30, inside the 20, to the 10. Dive for the pylon, touchdown, Bethel Park. A 70-yard touchdown run for John Delano. Momentum has certainly swung to the Bethel Park sideline.
Well, he's the lightning to the thunder of Tanner Volpatti. We've seen Volpatti run the ball to no success so far. One run for Delano, and he goes off tackle for 70 yards. And boy, when he is in open field, you're not going to catch him.
Extra point, up and good from place kicker John Gummo. Bethel Park 7, Pine-Richland 7. With 4:57 remaining in this first quarter. Don't go anywhere. It's a good one. As you are listening and watching to WPIAL Football 2017 here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
Pioneer in Sports Surfacing proudly supports high school athletics. Visit one of their 280 fields in the tri-state area to see their cutting-edge technology. AstroTurf's focus on R&D enables them to provide innovative surfaces that protect athletes and stand the test of time. AstroTurf now propels performance with iconic turf fields and legendary Recor-Tan tracks. They manufacture, build, and maintain a full range of turf and track systems for total quality control. Learn more at astroturf.com.
MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com. Getting used to saying that already. We're very thankful for the situation we're put in. Steve Nagler's with me. I'm Cory Campano. Jess Leva on camera tonight here. It's our video stream game of the week. Reminder that at halftime tonight, it's the MSA Sports Halftime Show. This week, Don Rebel welcomes Chris Harlan of Triblive.com as the new co-host, and they discuss upsets around the WPIAL. 70-yard touchdown run from Delano tied it up. Now the kick, Pine-Richland goes back on offense. Jordan Crawford received it at his own 20, got up across the 30, and down at the 32-yard line for PR to set back up.
What a huge change of momentum for Bethel Park. Think about it. Just a couple of minutes ago, Pine-Richland had a 7-0 lead and a 1st and 10 at the Bethel Park 38. A couple of big penalties put them behind the sticks. They're forced to punt. And one play into Bethel Park's second possession, and John Delano goes off of right tackle. I don't know if he was touched, honestly. Great blocking on the right side of that offensive line. Gamitter and Kwiatkowski opening up that huge hole for Delano.
And Tiger Burks, who had just checked in at fullback, played a role in that as well. We're knotted at 7, 4:49 left in the first. Jerkovic on the give up the middle. Crawford brought down after a short gain up to the 39-yard line. Actually fell forward for a gain of 6. Tackle made for Bethel Park by Gavin Vargesco. Pine-Richland's going to look to roll again. Shot themselves in the foot last drive with all the penalties. Quickly they go. Jurkovic floats one out to the left, has a receiver there. It's caught and enough for first down yardage up across the 45 to the 46 on a gain and completion to 20 Ben Jokum.
Jokum had a lot of room out there, and when you have a quarterback that can stretch the field against a defense, generally that means you're going to get some easy pitches and catches underneath that coverage, and that's what we saw there.
5 wide now. Jurkovic floats one down the left sideline. Man wide opens. Dawson Goltz catches it at the 20 inside the 15 and is knocked out at the 6 on a huge hookup there. A gain of 40 from Jurkovic to Goltz, and it was actually 50. Thank you, Steve. On the near side was Pine-Richland in their own territory. Again, that just little pump fake from Jurkovic froze the defense, and Goltz was wide open.
That's exactly right. He looked at the underneath receiver, and then Goltz was streaking down the left sideline. He hit him in stride.
First and goal now. Jurkovic bubble screen to the left, caught and then hit immediately by a slew of defenders for Bethel Park. Gain of 2, and that was Cam Belay on the catch.
Already Jurkovic, 10 of 13 for 146 passing yards in the first quarter. And by the way, we still have 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go in this first quarter.
Well, when you have a big run for Bethel Park who likes to run the clock, you know Pine-Richland goes as quick as possible. You'll have that situation. Second and goal from the 5. Jurkovic looks to the sideline, trying to get the play call. He's got 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left as of now. Play clock winds inside 10. Down to 5 now. Jurkovic gets the snap off. It's a give to the left. Crawford finds a little hole and scores a touchdown. Great cutback by Jordan Crawford. A 5-yard score, and just like that, Pine-Richland has answered. It's 13-7.
Oh, you say just like that. It was a minute and 43 seconds later after Bethel Park's 70-yard touchdown run by John Delano, and the Pine-Richland Rams go back on top on that 5-yard touchdown run by Jordan Crawford.
One of the best names in high school football on to kick the extra point, Vittorio Orsini, number 27 in white. Kick up, right down the middle, and good. 14-7 Pine-Richland. Almost out of breath, Steve, and there's 3:14 showing on the clock here in this first quarter. I'm not sure what to expect here. I mean, can Bethel Park keep up with the big plays like that, or do they need to sustain more drives? Pine-Richland just seems, when they don't take penalties, to click on all cylinders offensively.
They're looking very good here tonight. You've seen them. I have not. I have been extremely impressed. We've talked about some of the numbers we've seen from this Pine-Richland Rams offense so far here tonight. Jurkovic, 146 yards passing, a touchdown pass to his credit. He's 10 of 13. Jordan Crawford, 5 carries for 20 yards. Seems pretty modest, but he has that touchdown run. Jurkovic has run the ball 5 times for 22 yards as well. So, you add up all the yardage, they have already amassed 188 yards of total offense, and we still have 3 minutes and 14 seconds to go in this first quarter.
And that was a rushing touchdown for Jurkovic, who scampered the first time. And Jordan Crawford gets a touchdown this time around. What a job he has done as the starting running back for Pine-Richland since Kenny White went down with an injury. Crawford and White, very good friends, very good running backs. Orsini to boot it from the 40, and again, it's a great kick to the goal line. Caught and trying ever so carefully to run that out on the kick return for Bethel Park was Sean McGowan, but his foot was across the goal line in the end zone. That's a touchback. Have to be outside the end zone to run it.
For those of you watching here tonight and seeing the returner for the Blackhawks catch the ball and try to run it upfield, the rule in high school football is that if it is fielded at all on the end zone, in the end zone or on the end line, it is a dead ball and placed at the 20-yard line.
3:14 left in the first quarter. Yes, the first quarter for Bethel Park to start this drive from their own 20. Chickett in the gun this time. Volpatti to his left. Gives to Volpatti up the middle, and Tanner's not going to have much room there as once again the interior of that defensive line for Pine-Richland stops a running back quickly. Gain of 1.
Caddick and Kristofic, 2 of the bigger defensive line players for this Pine-Richland Rams team. Overall, they've done a pretty good job. They're on the right side of the defense, 73 and 74 respectively. Not a lot of running room for Volpatti so far. 3 carries, no yards total.
2nd and 9. Matola in motion. Strong eye set. Give to the right. Volpatti again. He's going to make a nice move. That could have gone for a loss of 4, but Volpatti made a cutback and turned it upfield. Turned it into a marginal gain of about 2 or 3 yards, but that could have been way worse for Bethel Park.
And this is the situation that Bethel Park does not want to find themselves in, especially down a touchdown. 3rd and long is a tough scenario for the Blackhawks, as it is for a lot of WPIAL teams. But this is not what you want to find yourself in if you're Jeff Matheny. You want to win on 1st and 2nd down, so you end up with maybe a 1st down after a couple of plays or in a drive, or 3rd and short.
3rd and 7 is this 3rd down from the 23. Chickett in the gun, and we get a whistle pre-snap. It's going to be a timeout taken by head coach Matheny. We'll keep it right here with 1:44 left in this first quarter. We've seen a breakout play for Bethel Park and 2 very quick drives for Pine-Richland. Kind of the opposite, really, if you think about it, how we pictured seeing the Bethel Park offense, but I think they'll take a 70-yard touchdown scamper anytime they can get it, and this is a very important 3rd down upcoming.
Yeah, it really is. I think Jeff Matheny probably, or maybe the offensive coaches up here in the press box, I think they saw something they didn't like, maybe a matchup, maybe a defense that defensive setup that wasn't going to allow for the play to have some success. They called the timeout. They wanted to talk about it, and I think it is a very important play. Yeah, we're still late in the first quarter, still a lot of time left to play in this football game, but it's going to be important for Bethel Park to sustain this drive. At the very least, keep the ball out of the hands of Pine-Richland a little bit. Even if they don't get points, they have to establish something here offensively.
Back on the field, and that was the first timeout taken to the half by the Blackhawks. Chickett goes under center now. Play action to the running back behind him. He'll roll right, looks for somebody downfield. Nobody open, and Chickett's going to be sacked back at the 20-yard line. Tommy Campano, number 6, off that left end. Shot in there quickly to bring down Chickett, and not exactly the play call you're looking for out of a timeout. Steve.
Yeah, Chickett is only a sophomore. The design was a roll to the right, and I'm not sure if Chickett felt like maybe he could get it with his feet. He didn't come close. He actually lost 3 yards.
Punt on the way, but that's going to be blown dead with a flag here. It normally indicates that somebody jumped for Bethel Park. See what the conversation is here. That sack lost 3 yards back to the 20, by the way. Officials discussing this call. That is Austin Cortopassi, the punter for Bethel Park.
Oh, legal substitution.
Wow, against Pine-Richland. Don't see that very often on a punt return.
Unfortunately for Bethel Park, it's only a 5-yard penalty,
Yeah.
so they will have to line up and punt the football again.
1:10 on the clock. They'll punt it now from the 25. Cortopassi standing at his own 11. Snap right there. Boot is away, and it's a high lofting end-over-end kick. Meckler returns it at his own 38. Looks for room down the left sideline, finds a cutback lane, still on his feet. Will try and reverse field the entire way, and really to no avail. Bethel Park all over that one, and Meckler ran about 25 yards to gain nothing.
It was a nice punt, high, and good hang time. And allowed for the Bethel Park Blackhawks to cover it well. Nowhere for Meckler to run. So with Pine-Richland up 14-7, they now go back on offense. And it's going to be really important now for the Bethel Park defense to figure some things out and slow down this Pine-Richland Rams attack. It's going to take pressure. And the front seven is going to really need to try to get a lot of pressure on Philip Jerkovic.
They start from the 38. Jerkovic in the gun, play action, quick throw out to the right, and it's a little bit low, and Ray Falcone not able to bring it in. Jerkovic immediately taps his chest saying, my bad, on that one, and a throw that he would like to have back, but he'll get plenty more opportunity. 4 wide on 2nd and 10. 46 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 14-7 in favor of Pine-Richland. Take their time a bit here. Crawford stands to the left of Jurkovic. Snap, fake to Crawford. Looks to the right side again. It's Falcone, and a nice job to jump the route by Austin Lewis, but Falcone still ended up with the football and a gain of 7.
Lewis did a good job of kind of coming back to that football, or excuse me, I should say Falcone coming back to that football to make that catch.
3rd and 3, option left. Crawford's going to be stopped short. Tried to bounce it to the outside, but was brought down quickly. And that was number 22, Javon Lewis, making the tackle on the outside, and that's probably the last play of the quarter, and Pine-Richland will have a decision. 4th and 1 from their own 47 when we come back. 14-7, Pine-Richland after 1. You're listening and watching to WPIAL Football 2017 here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
Chick-fil-A Robinson, your destination for a fast and tasty breakfast. Chick-fil-A Robinson offers a variety of breakfast sandwiches, including sausage, bacon, or, of course, chicken. Breakfast is served hot and fresh daily, featuring our handmade biscuits. Need to feed a crowd or a tailgate on Sunday? Chick-fil-A Robinson Catering has got you covered with hot or reheatable chicken trays. Visit our catering website at www.cfarobinsoncaters.com to book your business or social event today. Chick-fil-A Robinson Catering. We deliver.
Back on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com. Cory Campano, Steve Nagler's with me. Jess Lebo on camera, filming this one tonight. Pine-Richland leading Bethel Park 14-7 here at Bethel Park High School. And to start the second quarter, offense on the field for Pine-Richland. It's 4th and 1 from their own 47.
And I really like this call. It's risky because you're still on your own side of the 50-yard line, but with Jurkovic, they are lined up heavy to the right side of the formation. We're going to probably see Jurkovic follow his lead blockers to the right side, try to get that first down on his feet.
From the gun, exactly that as Steve Nagler calls it, and Jurkovic just carries 2 men with him across midfield, across the 45 to the 44-yard line in Bethel Park territory. Does not look like a quarterback when he has the football on the loose, Steve.
Well, I got to tell you, that is really demoralizing if you're the defense of the Bethel Park Blackhawks. You fought hard for a 4th and 1, and yet they still go for it and make it very easily.
Read option give to Jordan Crawford, who goes to the outside on the right side and falls forward for positive yardage. Up to the 41-yard line, gain of 3. Nice job again on the outside there by Javon Lewis. That was Austin Lewis, excuse me. 2nd and 8. 42-yard line officially where that ball was spotted. Jurkovic sends Crawford in motion in front of him. Fakes the jet sweep, fakes the handoff, and floats one down the right sideline. Wide open, Jason DeFrancis makes the catch inside the 20, inside the 15, and knocked out of bounds near the 10. That misdirection and a bullet pass from Jurkovic. They spot it at the 11 after a pickup of 27, excuse me.
They are a master of the misdirection. There's a lot of movement offensively, and if you get caught looking into the backfield, you'll get burned, and the Bethel Park has gotten burned a couple times.
1st and 10 from the 11. Jurkovic, read option to the left. Crawford has it, cuts back to the middle, and somehow finds a seam to get all the way into the end zone. Jordan Crawford, his 2nd touchdown run of the game, this one from 11 yards out. Pine-Richland 20, Bethel Park 7.
That was too easy. Crawford on the zone read, going to the left side of that offensive formation, following Parker Boyd and Grant Lemberande. The 2 seniors, he's able to cut it up and get into the end zone without a whole lot of defensive resistance.
Orsini on for the extra point, and snap was botched on the mishold, and Dawson Goltz almost got into the end zone. This is close. Received the snap, rolled right, cut it to the middle, and is knocked down just shy of the goal line. Dawson Goltz almost turned that into 2 points, but Pine-Richland another score, 20-7. With 11:03 left on the clock, Bethel Park a chance to come closer when we return. It's 2017 WPIAL football here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
Who showed you how to get to Sesame Street and took you to visit Mr. Rogers' neighborhood? WQED. And now, WQED and PBS Learning Media can help you travel through space, get an up-close look into Vietnam, and be in the front row of a Broadway show. In collaboration with local school districts, community organizations, and local libraries, WQED continues to create experiences that remake learning for students, teachers, and lifelong learners. For more info, visit WQED.org and begin your adventure.
Don't forget to tune into This Week in the WPIAL on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Join us as we visit with some of the top WPIAL coaches, plus we preview Week 5 of the WPIAL football season. Cory Campano, Steve Nagler next to me, Jess Levo, a whole level above us in the press box. Doing
That's
a
about
great
right.
job on camera.
I would say Jess is a whole level above you and me.
You can cut out that in the press box part of that. Just she's a whole level above us. Get a chance to listen and watch here tonight, our video stream game of the week. Number 1, Pine-Richland. Number 3, Bethel Park from Bethel Park High School. And number 1, Pine-Richland clicking on all cylinders offensively. They score again on that last drive, lead at 20-7. Orsini the kick. Return chance for Sean McGowan. Fields it at his own 2. Had a head of steam up across the 20, across the 25, and got marked down right around 25, 26-yard line for the Blackhawks to go back on offense.
Now things are getting a little bit out of hand for Bethel Park, and they're going to have to get out of their comfort zone a little bit more. I don't think it's at the stage where they have to kind of get away from their offensive game plan, but they're going to have to throw the ball, I think, a little bit more on early downs to, again, loosen up this defense and score points, and that's the bottom line. This Pine-Richland offense scores 44 points per game for a reason.
Chickett still in at quarterback, I formation from the 25. 1st and 10, John Delano outright goes in motion. Fake handoff, they're going to throw it on one-on-one coverage. Delano stepped in front of, intercepted by Dawson Goltz. Has room to run down the right sideline inside the 20. He is knocked down at the 18. He picked it off around the 45 and returned it for 20-plus. A big-time mistake for Bethel Park and their young quarterback.
Oh, Dawson Goltz just played possum defensively as he was tracking Delano down the field. It was a deep slant. There was nobody back. He had no safety help, but he was reading the eyes of Chickett, and he knew right where that football was going, and he undercut that route right at the right time. Big pick by Dawson Goltz, and Pine-Richland back in business deep in Bethel Park territory.
Yeah, they'll start this drive at the 17-yard line in Bethel Park territory, 10:43 remaining in the half. They already lead 20-7. Chance to add to it right here. 4 wide for Jerkovic. Looks out left, slant route across the middle, caught by Cam Belay at the 10. Makes a man miss, gets inside the 5, dives for the end zone, touchdown Pine-Richland. It took one play, a 17-yard pass from Jerkovic to Belay. Boy, they look like they are every bit worthy of that number 1 ranking, Steve.
Well, they really do. They are hitting on all cylinders. What do you do when you get the defensive turnover? You try to go to the end zone right away, and that's exactly what Pine-Richland did. Great job by Cam Belay to make the catch, kind of spun around, went for the corner of the end zone, got inside the pylon, and it is now 26-7 pending the extra point by Orsini.
Orsini on for the extra point. This time the snap is down, hold good, and Orsini boots it right through, 27-7. Pine-Richland with the lead. Bethel Park sideline looks a little down. They'll have a chance to try and get back up on this next drive. It's 2017 WPIAL football here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
Check out the new Triblive High School Sports Network on social media this season for breaking news, scores, pictures, videos, links to our articles, and more. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram under the handle Triblive HSSN. Get in the conversation on Facebook at facebook.com/Triblive HSSN. And on our YouTube channel, you can find thousands of interviews with local student athletes and coaches, plus highlights and full games. The spot for Western Pennsylvania high school sports on social media this season is the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
Back here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com. The floodgates have opened a bit here with 10:33 left in the first half. Pine-Richland 27, the Blackhawks of Bethel Park 7. Interception on the first play of the drive for Bethel Park. Anthony Chickett was picked off by Dawson Goltz, and one play, 17-yard pass from Dracovic to Belay. All of a sudden, it's a 20-point lead.
30 seconds between the Crawford 11-yard touchdown run and the Jerkovic to Belay 17-yard touchdown pass.
Orsini to kick. Shorter kick this time, and the returners run into each other. Eventually, Lewis has the football. Javon Lewis up across the 25 and will be stopped there around the 28-yard line. That's where Bethel Park will set up shop. Steve, we talked in the pregame about limiting mistakes, playing sound football, and Pine-Richland, aside from that drive with all the penalties, has done that offensively not so much for Bethel Park.
No, they're outclassed here tonight. I mean, it was going to be a tough situation. This Bethel Park team is very, very good, but there are a few teams in the WPIAL that are as good as the Pine-Richland Rams, not just offensively, but also defensively.
And it's going to go Wildcat time for Bethel Park. That's John Delano in the quarterback spot to run the Wildcat. Back with him is fullback Luke Matola. Delano, snap. Design run to the left, but blown dead, and somebody jumped on the offensive line for Bethel Park, I believe. So push them 5 yards back. Not exactly how you want to start this drive after the pick.
I like this Wildcat formation for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Why not get the ball directly into the hands of probably your most dynamic player, Delano? He has authored the only touchdown of the evening for Bethel Park, a 70-yard touchdown run with 4:57 to go in the first quarter.
As you say that, Steve, Chickett checks in at quarterback.
And maybe it's because now they're behind the sticks a little bit.
1st and 15 from their own 24. Receiver each way for Chickett. Delano dots the I. Man in motion. Chickett will give to Delano. Delano bounce it right side. Spin move across the 30. Shoestring tackle on the outside by Jokum. Otherwise, there was going to be a big lane again for Delano.
I really like that play. Just a simple trap play off the right side of the offensive formation. Good block coming over, made by Luke Matola, the fullback, to kind of open up the hole for Delano. And he gets 7 yards on 1st and long.
1st and 8 from the 31 for Bethel Park. Again, that I-form set. Matola and Delano dot the I for Chickett. Crandall goes in motion all the way over to the right. Chickett give to Delano off to the left now. Delano burst of speed and had a chance to get away again, but sound tackling for Pine-Richland limits Delano to a 1-yard gain.
Well, Delano was so close to squirming out of that tackle. A good defensive play by the Rams, and now it's 3rd down and long. And it's been too much of this for the Bethel Park Blackhawks here in the first half. This is not an explosive offense. They don't like to be in 3rd down and long. They don't have the quarterbacking means to make a lot of first downs in this situation.
Strong eye set, 2 receivers to the right. Chickett, little play action, floats it out to the right side, and it's incomplete. Had the fullback out there, Matola. I think even if the grab is made, he's short of that 1st down yardage. And again, it's going to be a 3 and out for Bethel Park here, Steve.
Just not able to sustain much in the way of drives. Again, their only touchdown was a 1-play, 70-yard touchdown run by Delano. Other than that, it has been slow going, and this Pine-Richland defense has been staunch.
Quarter posse on the punt. Decent punt over end to Meckler, who receives it, and he's met right away. Great coverage there on a huge tackle by Eric Slavey makes the stop, and Meckler down right where he caught it, but there's a flag on the far side of the field. Seems like there's been a decent bit of laundry on the field tonight, Steve.
There have been a lot of penalties issued to these two teams, that's for sure. Illegal motion against Bethel Park. I think you probably have them punted again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially considering the punt coverage team just expended a lot of energy covering that first punt.
It's extremely hard to get the thought out of your head that the closer and closer you allow Pine-Richland to start offensively towards that end zone, the easier it's going to be for them just to waltz right in. And already a 20-point lead, 8:45 left in this first half, and now Bethel Park having substitution issues. They can't figure out who's supposed to be on the field. Just 9 seconds and counting on the play clock. Now they're set. They get the snap off. Cortopassi. Low end-over-end kick. Meckler receives it at his own 41. Easily a lane up the middle, across midfield, across the 40, bounces it to the outside. Touched there. Now he spins it, reverses it back to the middle. He has room down this sideline. Meckler across the 20, across the 15, 10, all the way. Touchdown. From his own 41-yard line, Luke Meckler rumbles it 59 yards and a punt return touchdown. Pine-Richland can do it all.
Well, we saw as he got to the right side of the football field, he was slowed down by a Bethel Park defender, and almost helped Meckler because it just kind of naturally changed his momentum back towards the far side of the football field. He got a couple of good blocks. He broke a tackle late. He was able to finish off that 59-yard punt return for the touchdown.
Just a tremendous run by Luke Meckler. You said, Steve, I mean, we thought kind of looked like, oh, he's down around that 30-yard line, and he spun it reverse field.
Rams will go for 2.
And Pine-Richland's going to go for 2 here. Score 33-7. Jerkovic in there. Snap rolls right, has a couple men there, but can't get a throw away. Now he rolls back to the left. He'll float one to the back of the end zone, incomplete. So Pine-Richland does not convert on the 2-point try. That was Falcone, the intended receiver, but with 8:21 remaining in the half, it's Pine-Richland 33, Bethel Park 7. And Steve, from the Bethel Park sideline here, what's the message?
I mean, you got to keep fighting. That's the message right now. If you're Jeff Matheny, you got to tell your team this game's not over. As much as it seems like it is, 33-7 with 8:21 to go in the first half. I don't think there's much of a chance for Bethel Park with their limited passing game to come back and win this football game. But you have to continue to play hard. You have to continue to try to execute your offense, even if it's just to kind of build on something maybe for week 5, week 6. Right now, there's not a whole lot happening that's positive for Bethel Park, and it's been all Pine-Richland. We've seen it in the offensive side of the football. They have just driven the ball down the throats of the Bethel Park Blackhawks, but we've seen it in the return game, the 59-yard punt return by Luke Meckler, and we've seen excellent defensive abilities by the Rams, not only stopping the run, but Dawson Goltz with the big interception that gave a very short field to the Pine-Richland Rams in the last drive.
8:21 still left in this half. Vittorio Orsini kick from his own 40, and McGowan receives it from his own 7 up across the 20. Little seam there across the 30, brought down around the 32-yard line, and that's where Bethel Park will set up and again score 33-7 in favor of Pine-Richland.
Kind of a salty homecoming for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Not what everybody in the stands was hoping for. On the football field, the guys in black and orange. But they are hardly the only team that has had a rough go of it this year against the Pine-Richland Rams, that's for sure.
I formation set again. Chickett, little reverse play to Delano, and Delano has a little room up the middle, tackled from behind by Jokum, but not after he gets across, until he gets across the 40 to the 41-yard line, gain of 8.
That was a really nice play design as they had Delano coming in from the right side of the offensive formation, almost like a little scissors move of an inside reverse. And they got good blocking up front, allowing Delano to get 8 yards on that first down.
2nd and 2, 7.5 left in this first half. Chickett. Give to Javon Lewis, who just checked in, and Lewis has room down the right sideline. He might go all the way, streaming inside the 20, bounced out of bounds around the 10. A burst of speed. He was not touched until he was knocked out of bounds on the first carry of the game for Javon Lewis.
46-yard run by Javon Lewis. And that gives the Bethel Park faithful something to cheer for. Nice run by Javon Lewis, showing his speed. He's only a sophomore, 5'10", 150 pounds.
It's a bright future for Bethel Park. I mean, that was get the ball and go. North-south. Jolted out there, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. 2 receivers left for Chickett. Chickett gives to Delano on the strong eye. Delano, little hole there, bounces off a man up near the 5. Nice pickup again of 8 yards for number 21 in black.
Delano has really been the guy to give this Bethel Park Blackhawks a little bit of a boost. Volpatti has done next to nothing. 4 carries, 2 yards for Volpatti. But Delano has been effective when he's been in this football game.
And Delano remains in there with Matola on the strong eye fullback. 2 receivers to the right. Chickett gives Delano. Delano, not much work in that time. He does fall forward. See where the official spots that one. Looks like right at the 5, no gain. So it'll be 3rd and 2.
It is vital for the Blackhawks to get into the end zone here on this drive. Give them a little bit of confidence. Slow the Pine-Richland Rams down a little bit.
As crazy as it is, Steve, I mean, you're nearing 6 minutes left in this half. That's time for 1, 2, maybe 3 drives for Pine-Richland the way they've been going. It'll be 3rd and 2 from the 5, needing to get to the 3, Bethel Park. Chickett, the I formation, gives to Lewis, and he's going to be stuffed. Javon Lewis was met by the entire defensive line of Pine-Richland. Back at the 9-yard line, a loss of 4. And it's going to make it 4th and 6. What a big stop for the Rams.
That was just a slow developing play. Part of the problem for Bethel Park was they were late getting that play call in to Chickett, and so they were hurrying to the line of scrimmage. I think nobody knew really what they were going on as far as count, and they were all very sluggish to get off the football. Not Pine-Richland defensively. They were in the backfield quickly. They were able to get Javon Lewis to the ground very easily. They got to go for it on 4th down here.
Yeah, 4th and 6 from the 9. Again, needing the 3-yard line, to get to. Some play clock problems. The officials motion to the booth here. 5:14 on the clock left in the half. Chickett under center, 2 receivers to the right. Play action, he'll float one to the right. Has a man in the back of the end zone, but it's thrown well behind him. Incomplete. Another missed opportunity for Bethel Park, and Pine-Richland will take over on the turnover on downs.
It's really disappointing after the 46-yard run by Javon Lewis. Set them up inside of the Pine-Richland Rams 15-yard line. They get a great run on 1st down by Delano. 2nd and 2. They get a stop of no gain by Delano, and then Javon Lewis loses 4 yards on 3rd down, and they can't convert on 4th. So what looked like it was going to certainly be a scoring drive for Bethel Park ends up being a turnover on downs.
And you said, Steve, I mean, Bethel Park really needed a score there. Now with 33-7 on the scoreboard in favor of Pine-Richland, they go back on offense with the quarterback who committed to Notre Dame, Phil Jerkovic. From what I've seen, looks like he's every bit deserving.
First down 10 for the Rams at the 9
He goes in shotgun 4 wide again. Will look out to his left, caught there by Dawson Goltz on the little comeback route, and Goltz chugs up across the 15, knocked out of bounds around the 19-yard line, enough for a first down. Gain of 10.
Stopped by number 22, Lewis. First down for the Rams.
Jurkovic had 153 yards of passing offense in the first quarter alone.
Jurkovic in the gun, floats one up. He got hit as he thrown. It's intercepted by Austin Lewis. Lewis, room down the left sideline, is going to be knocked out of bounds at the 10. And there's a flag in the middle of the field at the 25-yard line.
Well, this is in the defensive secondary area of the Bethel Park Blackhawks. We'll see if that might not be a holding down the football field on the defense. That would be a crusher for Bethel Park. We'll see what this call is.
Jurkovic got crushed.
He did.
As he let go of that football, and that's why it was short and wobbly. Austin Lewis took advantage, but
it might have also been a penalty on the return.
And it's holding on Bethel Park. Was it before or after the interception? Defense still on the field. That's another killer for the Blackhawks. That interception is for nothing, as their defensive holding call was called at the 25-yard line. 5-yard penalty from there. So just like that, it's 1st and 10 from the 30 for Pine-Richland.
Well, you almost never see that call made in the WPIAL either. Just a bad break after a nice interception and return by Austin Lewis.
So officially at the 29-yard line, Jurkovic to throw again. Slant route, what a throw. Threads the needle to Dawson Goltz, and Goltz gains it up across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Pickup of 14 on the hook up there, and was a zone coverage, and Jurkovic just thread the needle again.
Jurkovic might end up with over 300 yards passing in the first half.
Jurkovic sets deep ball down the right sideline, and it is right on target. Ray Falcone makes the catch all the way down to the 1-yard line. Lewis tackles him there. Phil Jurkovic just threw that 45 yards in the air on a perfect spiral to Ray Falcone.
56 yards on that pass to Falcone. Jurkovic now 16 of 20 for 281 yards and a passing touchdown.
And it's 1st and goal from the 1. 7 points here would make it 40-7. Should Pine-Richland capitalize. Still 4.5 left in this first half of play. Give up the middle was DeSermonera, who just checked in, and he is stopped for no gain.
Right now, Pine-Richland up 26. They are looking to punch this thing in and really extend their lead. This has the possibility of getting into a running clock situation.
Jurkovic on the keeper. Easy does it. 1-yard touchdown run for Phil Jurkovic with 3:50 left in the first half. It is now 39-7 in favor of the Rams. And I know we talk about it every single game, how easy it is to talk about Phil Jurkovic, but he certainly deserves it. He's been on full display here again tonight, Steve.
Passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 281 yards of passing offense. It's hard not to talk about Jurkovic. He has been every bit as good as you would expect here on the road against Bethel Park.
Extra point up and good for Orsini. 39, now 40-7 Pine-Richland. Off to a 33-point lead. This game was 14-7 what seems like 10 minutes ago. And all of a sudden, it's 40-7 in favor of the Rams. We'll be back. It's 2017 WPIAL football here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
Log on every Wednesday night at 7 for the latest high school football news during this week in the WPIAL here on the MSA Sports Network. Join Don Rebel and other members of the MSA Sports team as they visit with WPIAL football coaches, plus they run down the upcoming schedule and preview the weekend's top high school football games. That's this week in the WPIAL, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. this fall, only on the MSA Sports Network.
Back on the network, I'm Cory Campano. Steve Nagler's with me, Jess Levo on camera. Reminder that coming up at the half, it's the MSA Sports Halftime Show. This week, Don Rebel welcomes Chris Harlan of Triblive.com as his new co-host, and they discuss upsets around the WPIAL. Still 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in this half. Scoreboard showing Pine-Richland 40, Bethel Park 7. And a reminder, this is the number 1 versus number 3 matchup. The MSA Sports rankings. Vittorio Orsini will boot again. And again, gets it into the end zone. No return chance for Bethel Park. Powerful leg for number 27 in white. And he's had plenty of opportunities to kick so far in this first half. Steve, this is the first time you've seen either of these teams. What do you think? Pine-Richland, pretty darn good.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. It's nice to see Bethel Park coming out to get the start that they have. They are a very good team. This is not, I don't think, an indication of the year that they're going to have. But this Pine-Richland Rams team is so difficult to play against. We talked about Jurkovic, but he's got so many weapons to throw to between Falcone and DeFrancis and Goltz and Jokum. How do you defend all that? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. And we're going to see the first of Luke Sarunas here on this drive, quarterbacking the Bethel Park Blackhawks offense.
Anthony Chickett had one interception and made a couple throws that were questionable, not really near where they needed to be for completions. And as you just mentioned, Steve, number 6, Luke Sarunas, in at quarterback for Bethel Park, the 6-foot junior. Some confusion down on the field, but I think somebody in the way, or the clock was wrong. It's 3:25 showing on the clock. Sarunas in, I-form set. Delano goes in motion. And they'll give it to Delano. No, they'll fake it. Sarunas will keep it to the right side, gets up across the 20, and is knocked down at the 23 on the QB keeper. Gains 3 yards.
Tackle by number 74,
Why not give Sarunas a chance in a tough first half for Chickett? He's 0 for 5 with an interception to his credit. He's run the ball once for -3 yards. So other than John Delano and his 70-yard touchdown run in the first quarter, it has been slim pickings for the Bethel Park Blackhawks offense.
Sarunas back under center. Hard count. Pine-Richland almost jumped there, but Sarunas will give it to the up man. That's Javon Lewis. Lewis stopped after a gain of maybe 1. Sermonera and Kristofic in on the tackle. Bethel Park will not get a chance to try and run some clock. Head coach Kasparovich just called a timeout. First timeout of the half taken by Pine-Richland with 2:27 left on the clock, leading 40-7, calling a timeout.
Well, Pine-Richland wants to get to the point where the mercy rule kicks in, and they'd like to do it before halftime because they would like to have a running clock in the second half. Trust me, they want to get out of here. A big win it's going to be for Pine-Richland, but they want to get out of here with as many bodies healthy as possible. This is a big game in that it's 2 of the top 3 teams in Class 6A, but not big enough that you want to risk a whole lot. You probably want to get Jurkovic out of there, some of your starters out if you can in the second half, and still have the benefit of a running clock. And so that's why Kasparovich has taken the timeout. He wants to give this Pine-Richland Rams offense the football one more time to get in the end zone and make it a running clock for the second half.
And not to mention, that's why, you see so many times, Steve, where teams are so good for a prolonged period of time. Their reserves, the younger guys, get some reps nearly every week. When you beat teams badly, they get to play every second half. That timeout was officially called with 2:42 remaining in the second quarter. And it's a 3rd and 6 from the 24-yard line for Bethel Park. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Sarunas is under center. Receiver to the right's Delano. Javon Lewis, a running back. Sarunas fakes to Lewis. Pressure in his face. Tries to throw a screen, and it is intercepted. Tommy Campano tipped it, and it was ended up being picked off by big number 68 on the defensive line.
And Michael Kadick.
Mike Kadick.
Great job by Kadick to come in and get the tip, but better play by Tommy Campano, the 6'1", 210-pound defensive back. He sniffed that out the whole way, and I was surprised he didn't make the catch. He kind of tipped it in the air, kept it alive for Kadick to come in and make the interception. Now another short field for the Pine-Richland Rams. And they have 2:24 to get another touchdown here.
And that was really a throw that Sarunas should not have made. Really was never there. Campano was on it the whole way. Sarunas and Chickett each with an interception in this game. Just 20 yards for the Rams to go. They lead 40-7. Dracovic, snap, throw over the middle, wide open, and a catch inside the 5, dragging a tackler was big number 8, Tyler King, the 6-foot junior. Gain of 18, actually 19 down to the 1. He got all the way to the 1-yard line.
300 yards passing now officially for Phil Dracovic on that 19-yard catch. We're going to see him run the ball to the right.
Dracovic gets to the goal line, falls forward. Another touchdown for Pine-Richland, another one for Phil Dracovic. His third rushing touchdown of the evening makes it 46-7. Pine-Richland. That drive took all of 2 plays.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple of times here in the first half. Big turnovers by Bethel Park offensively, putting their defense in a really tough spot and giving Pine-Richland their offense very short field position. They've capitalized on it both times. And 7th offensive touchdown for the Rams here in the first half. Sixth, I should say.
Yeah, 6th extra point attempt up and good for Vittorio Orsini. That makes it 47-7. Mercy Rule is officially in effect. And with 2:11 left in the first half, Bethel Park just looking for some pride and maybe some answers at this point to try and put a scoring drive together. We'll be back to see their next drive attempt. You're listening and watching to WPIAL Football 2017 here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
Triblive has a little something for everyone. Sports from high school to the pros. News from across the street and around the world. Arts and entertainment, lifestyles, opinion, weather, photo galleries, video. You can even find your next job, house, and car. So look alive, Pittsburgh, and get the news you want and information you need all in one place. Triblive.com. Triblive.com. News and more 24/7.
47-7, our score in favor of Pine-Richland over Bethel Park. We're at Bethel Park High School. I'm Cory Campano, Steve Nagler with me. Jess Levo on camera tonight. It's our video game stream of the week. Pine-Richland, such a tough competitor. Offense is good, defense is good, all around they're just good. It's that easy. They are out to dominate other football teams. Coming into this game, they had scored 179 points, had given up 42. That margin will widen after tonight's football game as they lead by 40 with 2 minutes left in the first half.
I don't know how much to say. I mean, this is just this is one that Jeff Matheny, the head coach of Bethel Park, might just want to burn the tape. I'm not sure. Not sure you want to spend a whole lot of time looking at this one.
Chalk it up to the team on the other sideline, really, I think. I mean,
I agree.
It's not that Bethel Park has come out and not given effort or not tried to stay in this game. They had a 70-yard touchdown run from John Delano. Anthony Chickett is back in at quarterback in the gun. Looked to bubble screen to the right, nothing there. Now he gets rid of it and floats it over the head of Javon Lewis, but a flag came in late on the incompletion.
An eligible man downfield. I think the offensive line thought that Sarunas was going to pull that ball down and run. He did not, and he ended up throwing the football. And when that happens, the offensive line more than 5 yards down the football field, that's a penalty.
Good eye, Steve, and another penalty on Bethel Park. We've seen numerous amount of flags on the field going both ways here tonight. 1:53 and counting in this first half. 1st and 15 from their own 15 for Bethel Park. Chicken up the middle, give to the fullback Matola, and Matola rumbles across the 20 up to the 23-yard line. Gain of 8.
Timeout, Pine-Richland.
Pine-Richland again takes another timeout. 47-7, and Eric Kasparovich will use his second timeout. Steve, do you have an answer for the reasoning there? As,
Well,
we're in mercy roll territory.
I had a reason for the first time they called timeout on the last drive. I really don't have a reason for them calling timeout on this possession. I really don't.
It's puzzling, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. The game is decided. I mean, there's no coming back from a 47-7 deficit. To me, it's a little excessive to be calling timeout when you're up 40.
Is this
with
like,
a minute
is this
39 to go?
The thought of like it is in college with the BCS rankings and all that, and the more that you beat teams by. I mean, I don't know how seriously the WPIAL committee takes that into. I mean, Pine-Richland's clearly the number one team.
Yeah, they're going to be the number one team. No, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
Trying to throw out any option there, but not sure that with the timeout call. Javon Lewis gets a handoff and is stuffed for no gain.
Lewis on the carry.
I mean, the only thing I can say is, and they're going to call another timeout.
Their last one.
The only thing I can say is he wants his offense to maybe get a little bit more 2-minute offense.
And you hear a roar from the Bethel Park sideline, a big boo from the crowd as they are contemplating the reasoning behind these timeout calls from Coach Kasparovich.
Yeah, I think that's probably what he wants, is to give his offense another opportunity in the 2-minute scenario.
They don't need 2 minutes,
yeah,
let's be honest.
Well, they don't, and I'm not so sure that they're going to probably be tested all that much. That's maybe why he wants to give them.
I understand.
Give them some,
I mean, you're actually making it sound better, Steve. But I mean, you can kind of say it any way you want. It still doesn't make all that sense.
No, it's a little unsavory.
1:31 showing on the clock. 3rd and 7 from the 23. No timeouts remaining now for Pine-Richland. Chickett will go back under center. Strong eye set with 2 receivers to the left. Chickett gives to Delano. John Delano up across the 25-yard line. Flag flies after a short gain for the Bethel Park running back.
And they will. It's going to be a holding call. I'm sure Pine-Richland will decline the penalty.
I would think decline and make it 4th down, as Delano didn't get anywhere near first down yardage. Officials discussing. Been a long first half. That's what you have when there's 54 points on the scoreboard. 47 of them coming for the number 1 ranked Pine-Richland Rams. Bethel Park for them came in 3-0, 2-0 in the conference. This is a non-conference matchup. Pine-Richland was 4-0, 2-0 in their conference. Mercy rule will be in effect, running clock for the second half, and believe that, Steve, it runs on everything but scoring plays, I believe.
And penalties.
And penalties.
Mm-hmm.
Punt unit on for Bethel Park. Austin Cortopassi on the punt again, standing at his own 11. Meckler back to receive it. Last time he returned it 59 yards for a touchdown. This time, a little miscommunication between Cam Belay and Meckler. Belay ran into the middle of the fire there, and it looked like it hit a Ram player. And then DeFrancis hopped on the football. So 51 seconds remain in this first half. Pine-Richland will have the ball with no timeouts remaining from their own 44-yard line.
Jerkovic, what a first half he's had. 17 of 21 through the air, 300 yards. He has a touchdown pass to his credit. He has run the ball
First down 10, Rams at the
for 3 touchdowns. Just has done a great job in orchestrating this offense.
And he's still on the football field. 3 receivers to the right for Jerkovic. Play action fake, looks to throw. Nothing there. He'll roll to the right. Finally finds a receiver on the far side and completes it. That's Falcone. Falcone with the catch makes a man miss up across the 40 in Bethel Park territory and is brought down right around the 37 on a nice hookup again from Jerkovic to Falcone.
Number 8, Tyler King. Correction number 5, Ray Falcone. Please look for Rams first
Quick
down.
moving Rams, 33 seconds and counting. Jerkovic. 2-step drop, floats one down the right sideline. Again, it's Falcone wide open. Diving catch, touchdown, Pine-Richland.
Complete to number 5.
37 yards, Phil Jerkovic to Ray Falcone. A Notre Dame commit to a Lehigh commit, and it's 53-7, Pine-Richland. What a catch.
What a catch that was by Falcone. He laid out. I'm not so sure he got into the end zone, honestly. I think he might have come down inside the 1-yard line, but they gave him credit for the touchdown, and maybe they should have, because that was just such a beautiful pitch and catch from Jerkovic to Falcone.
I mean, they called the timeouts, they get the football back, and again, it's 2 plays. A 2-play drive. How many of those have we seen tonight? Orsini's extra point, long through and good again, 54-7. Pine-Richland with 25 seconds left in the half. Remarkable, this team, the Pine-Richland Rams. You know, I saw them last week. They were up 43-6, or won 43-6, excuse me, against Penn Hills, and really didn't play that great. They've got 54 points this week. It's not even halftime, and it's against the number 3 team in our MSA rankings on the road.
They are flexing their muscles, without a doubt.
October 8th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Not enough can be said about how dynamic the offense is for Pine-Richland, but defensively, in my opinion, they're just as sound. Tough up front, they're athletic in the secondary, and they force people to beat them, and so far, nobody's been close. As long as Jerkovic is healthy, that was the big thing last year when he went down with the thumb injury. Pine-Richland lost a step, but he looks better than ever right now.
355 yards of passing offense for Phil Jerkovic in 1 half of football. Stunned silence.
Yeah.
You know, when he completed that 37-yard touchdown pass, we even heard a lot of oohs and ahs in the Bethel Park crowd. I think everybody's impressed with what they're seeing from this Rams offense, and how can you not?
Yeah. McGowan got a return there for Bethel Park. Returned it up across the 20 to the 23-yard line. Sermonera on the stop. 18 seconds now left in maybe the longest first half ever in a WPIAL football game. 61 points on the scoreboard as we go into halftime, 54 of them from Pine-Richland. Get to see we'll see a mix of players in the second half. Anthony Chickett in there again under center. He'll drop the throw, floats one to the left side, completes it. Caught there by Austin Lewis. Lewis up across the 35-yard line to the 36. Gain of 16 yards on the completion. Nice pitch and catch for the Blackhawks. Clock rolls, under 10 seconds left. This will be the last play of the first half. Chickett floats one again outside Lewis, and he's knocked out of bounds. Never mind. Some time left on the clock as he ran out of bounds to the
clock should not be
44.
stopping. Any idea why the clock is stopping?
Ran out of bounds. They set the football, and no, it stopped. Out of bounds. They stopped the clock, so 2nd and 2 from the 44-yard line. Chickett. I form again. Drop. Play action, roll to the right, floats one out to his fullback, threw it behind him, incomplete. And they're going to get another play off.
I was going to say, we have time for one more play.
Here in the first. I
Make
said
it a longer first
last
half.
play two plays ago. To add to it. 3rd and 2 from the 44, 1.3 left on the clock here in the first half. Our video game stream of the week from Bethel Park High School. Beautiful night for football here tonight. Unusually warm, not a cloud in the sky. Beautiful venue at Bethel Park High School. But the Blackhawks trailing 54-7. Last play of the first half now for Chickett. Rolls right, throw, and it's incomplete. Broken up by Thomas Burns. And man down on the field for Bethel Park. I can't tell if that's Lewis or Slaby. That's Slaby, Eric Slaby down on the field. Hopefully he's all right. Take a little short break, wrap up the scoring outburst from Pine-Richland in that first half as you're listening and watching the WPIAL Football 2017 here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
MSA Sports broadcasts are now available on both Android and iOS devices. Just navigate to the game of your choice, and on your mobile device, press the arrow or play button. It's that easy. No app needed. No matter where you are, MSA Sports content is available at your fingertips via your iPad, Android phone, iPod, and iPhone. Anytime, anywhere, always there. The MSA Sports Network.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDrivesYou. Carlo University, a proud sponsor of the MSA Sports Network.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
AstroTurf.
Halftime here, Bethel Park High School, Pine-Richland 54, Bethel Park 7. The stats for the Pine-Richland offense, Steve Nagler is going to have them for you in a second. They are outrageous for half of football. Jess Levo's been on camera here for our video stream game of the week. Steve, really not much that we can say right now that we haven't said in the first half about how impressed we've been with Pine-Richland. They scored 54 points in that first half. You've got a slew of numbers to go down here. Run it down for us on the offensive extreme outburst first half for the Rams.
Pine-Richland scored 6 touchdowns in the second quarter. And that tells you just how good they've been in this first half. Things started very early on in the first half. Pine-Richland received the opening kick, and they scored a minute 50 seconds into this football game. A 3-yard touchdown run by Phil Jerkovic. Victorio Orsini on to kick the extra point very early. The Rams had a 7-0 lead. Couple of possessions into the game for Bethel Park. They scored on their second possession. It was a one-play, 70-yard drive. John Delanos running off of the right tackle and into the defensive secondary. Nobody could catch him. The 70-yard touchdown run and the Gummo extra point tied the game at 7-7 with 4:57 to go in the first quarter. But Pine-Richland would get the ball back and score just a minute and 43 seconds later. A 5-yard touchdown run by Jordan Crawford. Extra point was good. Pine-Richland had the lead 14-7. They'd score early on in the second quarter. A second touchdown run by Jordan Crawford. 11 yards this time. The snap on the extra point was not good, and they tried to run it in but couldn't. The touchdown giving Pine-Richland a 20-7 lead with 11:03 to go in the first half. They'd score 30 seconds later after Bethel Park's quarterback Anthony Chickett was picked off. A 17-yard, one-play touchdown pass. Phil Jerkovic to Cam Belay. Extra point was good. And Pine-Richland had a 27-7 lead with 10:33 to go. They'd score 2 minutes and 11 seconds later on a punt return by Luke Meckler, 59 yards. 2-point conversion was no good. Pine-Richland had a 33-7 lead with 8:22 to go. They still had 3 touchdowns to score in the first half. They did so at the 3:50 mark, a 1-yard touchdown run by Jerkovic. Orsini extra point was good, 40-7 at that time. They'd score with 2:11 to go. Another 1-yard touchdown run by Jerkovic, extra point good. Pine-Richland 47-7 at that point. And then they scored with 26 seconds to go in the half. A 37-yard touchdown pass, a thing of beauty from Jerkovic to Falcone. Laid it out there. Falcone laid out for the pass, able to make the catch and just get in to the end zone. Extra point good. 54-7, Pine-Richland over Bethel Park at the half. Let's look at some individual numbers. They are stunning if you're a Pine-Richland fan. Phil Jerkovic, 19 for 23 in the first half, 355 yards and 2 touchdowns throwing the football. Mind you, he had 2 touchdown runs as well. He ran the ball 8 times for 33 yards. Going back to that completion percentage, 19 to 23. Remember, he had 2 drops early on in the first quarter. So it very easily could have been 21 of 23 in better yardage. Jordan Crawford, 8 carries for 35 yards and 2 touchdowns in that first half. Luke Meckler had 1 carry for 6 yards. Halftime total as a team for the Pine-Richland Rams, 429 yards of total offense. Not much other than John Delano for Bethel Park in the first half. Delano did carry the ball 8 times for 96 yards and a touchdown. That 70-yard touchdown run. Javon Lewis, 3 carries for 43 yards. Luke Matola, a couple carries for 10 yards. Anthony Chickett threw the ball 9 times in the first half, completed 2 for 24 yards and an interception. And a total of 175 halftime yards for Bethel Park, but 116 of those 175 came on 2 plays. The 70-yard Delano run and the 46-yard Javon Lewis run. Other than that, they gained 59 yards of total offense in the first half.
Excellent job, Steve, running it down. Not much better job he could have done to run down the entire offensive stout effort for Pine-Richland. 54 points. It's 54-7 at the half. We'll come back for the second half of play, but right now we're going to take it to the halftime show. It is Don Rebel and Chris Harlan of Triblive.com this week is the new co-host, and they'll discuss upsets around the WPIL. Be back after the halftime show. It's MSA Sports Network powered by Triblive.com.
Halftime show week 4 here on the MSA Sports Network powered by Triblive.com. I'm Don Rebel, and kind enough to join us, and in case he absolutely hates this and doesn't want to ever do it again, as part of our deal with Trib Total Media, we say hello to Chris Harlan. He is one of the head high school sports writers at the Trib. Welcome.
Hey, it's good to be here. I've heard it from the other side every week, so it's nice to be on this side of the studio.
Well, you may say that now, my friend, but that could change with time. We really appreciate it. You do a fantastic job. There's been a lot of changes at the Trib. There is no more Pittsburgh newspaper. There is the Greensburg Tribune Review. There is a daily in the Alikiski Valley.
Yep, the Valley News Dispatch, everyday edition.
So you are doing stuff for both and also the website, right?
Triblive.com also. Cover the whole WPIAL still for Trib Live.
Well, since you're going to be in the hot seat here now every week, let's get to know you a little bit. Give us a little bit, the listeners, a little background on Chris Harlan and your antics over the years.
Okay. I've been a writer for about 15 years. I started out of college. I'll back up. I'm from Newcastle originally. So
Lawrence County proud.
I'm from Newcastle. I grew up there watching Lindy Loro and that offense he ran, that cloud of dust. But then I went to Slippery Rock, and out of college, I went to Beaver County and saw a lot of good high school football there for about 6 or 7 years. I got to see the Aliquippas and the Rochesters and the Beaver Fallses.
Now, is that the Josh Lay era or the
A little later
Darrell
than that,
Rivas
the Darrell
era?
Rivas. I
Okay.
definitely saw all his years.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember once I stopped him as like a freshman and asked him how to spell his name because we didn't know at that point. The double R's, the double L's. And he said, actually, he was like a freshman. He said, it doesn't matter. And I said, it doesn't matter. We got to get this right. And he was good. But even then, you could tell he was a smart kid. And that just really didn't, the attention at that point didn't really matter to him. But now everybody knows how to spell his name.
Indeed. So you went then from the Beaver County Times to the Trib?
And I've been at the Trib now for 7 or 8 years now. And yeah, it's been a great time. I've got to see lots of really good games, lots of fun Friday nights. I've done all their high school stuff now and all the championships, and it's good. I'm proud of the coverage we've done over these 8 years. I've worked with a lot of good guys there on that staff, and we're keeping it going. You know, I think you'll see it on Triblive.com every week, the good coverage that we do.
Yep, indeed. We'll keep it going. Chris Harlan is our new co-host. It's the halftime show here on the MSA Sports Network.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
AstroTurf, a pioneer in sports surfacing, proudly supports high school athletics. Visit one of their 280 fields in the tri-state area to see their cutting-edge technology. AstroTurf's focus on R&D enables them to provide innovative surfaces that protect athletes and stand the test of time. AstroTurf now propels performance with iconic turf fields and legendary Recordtan tracks. They manufacture, build, and maintain a full range of turf and track systems for total quality control. Learn more at astroturf.com.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDrivesYou. Carlo University, a proud sponsor of the MSA Sports Network.
For the most complete recap of Friday night's WPIAL football action, tune in on your way home from the game to the MSA Sports Scoreboard Show here on the MSA Sports Network. Hi, I'm Don Rebel. Join me in the MSA Sports Gang for all the scores and recaps from the top games, plus the MSA Sports Roundtable. That's the MSA Sports Scoreboard Show after the game on Friday nights on the MSA Sports Network and at msasports.net. Halftime show continues here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com. And speaking of the Trib, Chris Harlan. If you were Kevin Harlan, you'd be with a different network and probably with a different pay scale.
That's my distant cousin who I don't really know.
Very distant. Chris Harlan of the Trib is with us and will be with us for the rest of the season. We are 3 weeks in the books, and I think the two of us in talking last week, some eyebrow raisers. For sure, you were at one of them with Montour falling, but Plum beating Franklin Regional, especially with some of the circumstances and especially the way they did beat them, that was a big stunner. But wow, Albert Gallatin goes to West Mifflin, a shocker.
Yeah, those are both scores that I was out at Montour last week, and when I saw them come across Twitter, I had to look for a second source to make sure someone hadn't typed the score wrong. Because, you know, they were that surprising.
Yeah.
But, yeah, for Plum and Franklin Regional first, Plum lost Cory Thomas, their running back and their middle linebacker. I'd gone out and talked to him before the season, and Coach Matt Morgan had talked about how much this kid meant to what they were going to do this year. And then you lose him to a leg injury, and the next week you beat Franklin Regional. That's surprising. Nobody would have expected that. But they had a fullback, Dakota Sunday, who was going to be the blocking back for Cory Thomas, and and he scored 4 touchdowns last week and really got
All of a
something
sudden,
going.
he was in the front seat.
He was. And the other one was Albert Gallatin. I don't know. I talked to Sean Leota this week, and he said that probably nobody outside of their locker room expected them to beat West Mifflin.
Yeah. Oh, and I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
That's very accurate.
I agree. And they did it in a great way. They got a sophomore quarterback there, and Dominic Llewellyn. He threw a touchdown pass with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They were down. He threw that. Then they got a hold, a 4-and-out, I think. And then they had a 4th and 2 at their own 45 with about a minute left, Sean said. And they went for it. And, again, the sophomore quarterback completed a pass to Nate Bricker. He caught the touchdown. He caught the 4th down conversion, and they beat West Mifflin 28-27. And that's one of the biggest upsets definitely of this year. I think the biggest one we've seen.
The lessons learned is you still have to play the game. We can sit here as quote-unquote experts and tell you what we think might happen, but they still have to play the game, and they are 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. Before we wrap it up, Chris, any other major ups? I mean, those were stunners. Any other big upsets in recent years that jump out?
I think the biggest, was Monessen Clairton. I think you go back to that one from 2013.
And they're playing this week, too.
They are. And I think that, when you look at the last decade, there was no upset bigger than that one when Monessen snapped their 66-game winning streak. I don't know if you can find an upset bigger than that.
No, that was a stunner. And really, to be honest with you, the previous loss by Clairton, I don't know if you remember it, and then the next week they won and started the streak. They lost opening week 2000 whatever to Laurel.
That's right.
They lost to the Spartans, which stunned everybody, and then they wouldn't lose again for 66 more games. Chris, welcome. It's great to have you with our family. It's great to have our families together, and we look forward to it.
Hey, it's good to be here.
It is Chris Harlan, who is the new halftime co-host here. Enjoy the second half of the game you are listening to here on the new MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
Chris Harlan, we welcome him, and we feel welcome to be powered by Triblive.com now here at the MSA Sports Network. Here at Bethel Park High School, it's Pine-Richland 54, Bethel Park 7. Heard that score correctly. It was an incredible half offensively for the Rams. Homecoming night here at Bethel Park. Impressed by the crowd that's still on hand here. The homecoming ceremony ongoing right now. There's about 4.5 minutes or so left on the clock before the second half is underway. We'll be back for the second half. Going to take another short break. Until that time, you're listening and watching 2017 WPIAL football on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
AstroTurf, a pioneer in sports surfacing, proudly supports high school athletics. Visit one of their 280 fields in the tri-state area to see their cutting-edge technology. AstroTurf's focus on R&D enables them to provide innovative surfaces that protect athletes and stand the test of time. AstroTurf now propels performance with iconic turf fields and legendary Recor-Tan tracks. They manufacture, build, and maintain a full range of turf and track systems for total quality control. Learn more at astroturf.com.
Get everything you want in a checking account plus $200 from Dollar Bank. That's right. You get $200 with an Everything checking account from Dollar Bank. Everything checking includes interest, 55,000 free ATMs, and no monthly service fee when you do the things you already do every day. You also get real-time alerts and an app with mobile deposit, all free. Add Everything Savings to earn 1.00% APY up to $20,000. And now, Everything Checking has it all, including a $200 offer that ends September 30th. So don't miss your chance to get $200. Stop in, visit dollar.bank/200, or call 1-800-242-BANK today. Dollar Bank, mutually inspired. $200 offer for new customers only. Certain requirements apply in the first year. Call for details. 0.15% annual percentage yield. Savings rate and fee waiver requires 6 qualifying payments. 0.25% savings APY over $20,000. Subject to change without notice. Dollar Bank. Member FDIC.
Management Science Associates Incorporated, MSA, is a world leader in developing analytical software and information-based systems. With over 850 employees and nearly 40 years of uninterrupted growth, MSA specializes in data management and data warehousing, business analysis, media services, custom workflow integration, and enterprise resource planning systems. MSA wishes all of tonight's players good luck. Visit MSA at www.msa.com.
Who showed you how to get to Sesame Street and took you to visit Mr. Rogers' neighborhood? WQED. And now, WQED and PBS Learning Media can help you travel through space, get an up-close look into Vietnam, and be in the front row of a Broadway show. In collaboration with local school districts, community organizations, and local libraries, WQED continues to create experiences that remake learning for students, teachers, and lifelong learners. For more info, visit WQED.org and begin your adventure.
Make Chick-fil-A Robinson your destination for a fast and tasty breakfast. Chick-fil-A Robinson offers a variety of breakfast sandwiches, including sausage, bacon, or, of course, chicken. Breakfast is served hot and fresh daily, featuring our handmade biscuits. Need to feed a crowd or a tailgate on Sunday? Chick-fil-A Robinson Catering has got you covered with hot or reheatable chicken trays. Visit our catering website at www.cfarobinsoncaters.com to book your business or social event today. Chick-fil-A Robinson Catering. We deliver.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDrivesYou. Carlo University, a proud sponsor of the MSA Sports Network.
Back on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com. 54-7. Our score at halftime, number 1 ranked Pine-Richland Rams beating the number 3 ranked Bethel Park Blackhawks according to our MSA Sports rankings. Steve, you ran down the numbers before we went to the halftime show there, and I mean, they're just so impressive for a half of football, and I want to just make the mark that I don't think it has anything to do with the lack of effort or defensive talent on the Bethel Park side of the football. This is just an offense that is probably the best offense in the WPIAL, and they're just clicking on all cylinders right now. The only drive that they didn't score was the one where they shot themselves in the foot and had how many penalties in a row, 2 or 3 penalties on the one drive. It's remarkable to see what Jurkovic's doing and the weapons all around. Pine-Richland is just absolutely for real.
Yeah, the drive that they didn't score, they got the ball first and down to the 38-yard line of Bethel Park, and they had a first down at the 38 of the Blackhawks, and they took 2 penalties that ended up being first and 30, and even still, the drop on 3rd down and 15, they would have gotten a first down even in that situation had the ball not been dropped in that scenario. Other than that, they were hitting on all cylinders. And, you know, anytime you gain 429 yards of total offense in the first half of a football game, I don't care what level you're playing, if it's the NFL, you know, Division I, college football, high school football, 429 total yards in a half is unbelievable. And, you know, if Phil Jurkovic has played a better half of football, I'd love to know. You said that you thought that Pine-Richland was maybe the best offensive team in the WPIAL. If there's a better one, I'd love to see it.
Yep.
They are just stocked. They are loaded. You look at the you look at the receivers that they run out there. We talked about it before the game. The combination of Falcone, DeFrancis, and Jokum came into this game with nearly 50 catches, nearly 900 yards, and like 8 touchdowns or something crazy like that. And then you had guys, you know, that come in and
like
you know,
Belay,
catch balls.
Goltz. I mean, you got both of them. I think Belay had the touchdown.
Belay,
they're everywhere.
Goltz. And we even saw King with a big catch late in the first half. So, and then, you know, Jordan Crawford is kind of a lunch pail guy at the running back position. He didn't do a lot because they didn't run the ball a lot, but 8 carries, 35 yards, good for 4.5 yards a carry, and had 2 touchdowns credited to him in the first half, an 11-yard touchdown run and a 5-yard touchdown run. You know, this Pine-Richland team is number one for a reason. And I have a sneaking suspicion that Eric Kasparovich was not happy with his offense turning the ball over 4 times last week. I mean, they still put it to Penn Hills, and they beat them by 36 points or whatever it was.
Yeah, 37.
37 points. But when you turn the ball over 4 times, you're not going to make your head coach very happy. And I think they probably practiced with a purpose this week, and they came out with a purpose, and it was probably the most impressive first half or one half of offensive football as I've ever seen.
Oh, it's by far the most impressive half I've ever seen offensively. Just to add insult to injury for the rest of the teams in 6A, Kenny White's hurt.
Yeah.
So when he comes back, that's just another weapon added to the offense. He was terrific last year at West Allegheny, transferred over to Pine-Richland this season, got hurt in that first game. But what's remarkable about Pine-Richland, I said it earlier, Steve, when we were talking, they won 43-6 last week and didn't play well.
Right.
They really did not play well for what this team is capable of. And a Penn Hills team that came in undefeated, and still their defense able to hold Penn Hills to 6 points. And actually the defense held them to nothing. It was a defensive touchdown scored by Penn Hills. So, I mean, really, that's by far the most impressive offensive half of football I've seen. But the defense, really is spectacular, too, for Pine-Richland. This is just a complete football team. And next week, Central Catholic, looking at on the other side who Pine-Richland will take on, you have to think that will be an incredibly tough matchup. But, Steve, from our vantage point, Central Catholic's going to have to play a perfect game against this team.
Central Catholic is going to be probably the only team in Northern 7 that will give Pine-Richland a shot. But Central Catholic got shedded in the first game of the year that they played. It was a showcase game where they were playing a team outside of WPIAL, and they did not fare well. Now they have, since run off 2 straight wins, actually 3 straight wins since then. And
I saw at half, by the way, they were up 21-14 only on Seneca Valley.
Yep.
So Seneca Valley's sticking with them a little bit. Vittorio Orsini, leg has to be tired. Has to be absolutely dead as he sets to kick it off again, and still he boots it towards the end zone. That's McGowan who will receive from his own 1. We're underway in the second half. McGowan up across the 20, has a seam on the right hash, up across the 30, across the 40, and it is Orsini, the kicker, that makes the stop. But it's after McGowan returns it to the 42-yard line. Some life for Bethel Park to start the second half.
Well, right now, if you're Jeff Matheny, you want to kind of emphasize anything possible, anything you can, certainly, and that was a nice kick return of about 39 yards.
That's Sean McGowan, the 5'9" sophomore. I'm trying to double check here. That is Chickett that's back in at quarterback. Running clock, mercy roll in the second half. Give up the middle to the fullback, Matola. Really nowhere to go again. 1-yard gain. That middle of the defensive line and middle linebackers, it just so tough for Pine-Richland. There's no room there at all. Luke Matola, again, gets a 1-yard gain there, number 34, and Tiger Burks runs onto the field for him. Matola jogging to the sideline. And no need for Bethel Park to be urgent or rush anything here in the second half. Got a sophomore quarterback in there. Get him some reps. Try and run some offensive plays. Maybe you wouldn't in a normal situation. Chickett there rolls to the left, has a receiver wide open, incomplete. That was a nice play by the sophomore quarterback to elude pressure. Threw a bullet on the run, but it was dropped by Austin Lewis.
Yeah, he stepped up in the pocket nicely. Nice sequencing of his feet. And a ball that Lewis had to lay out for, got his hands on, but couldn't pull in.
3rd and 9 from the 43-yard line from Bethel Park High School. Thank you to the people of Bethel Park, by the way, for the hospitality here tonight. Got a good spot in the press box. So does our camera girl, Jess Levo, tonight. High formation, now Javon Lewis motions to the left. Chickett rolling left, pressure in his face, will throw on the run and completes it to John Delano for a first down into Pine-Richland territory. Nice throw from Chickett. to the 5'6" senior to the 45-yard line of Pine-Richland territory. First down, Hawks.
12-yard gain. Best throw of the evening by the sophomore Chickett. Rolling to his left, not an easy thing for a right-handed quarterback to do, but he got those shoulders square to the line of scrimmage before he threw the football, and so was very accurate with that throw to Delano.
Single receiver out to the right. Delano goes in motion from left to right now as well. I formation. Little bubble screen out to the left. They threw it behind the line, and Delano was set to throw it deep. Austin Lewis was wide open, but coming in, reading the play and deflecting it out of danger for Pine-Richland looked like Thomas Burns.
Well, that's a snapshot of the night that Bethel Park has had. What would have been a very successful flea flicker, where a throwback as behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, little wishbone set play.
Yeah, and he could have thrown the football and tried to Lewis, but was knocked down.
And that was Cooper Lawton, actually, the middle linebacker that made the play to deflect it away. Javon Lewis gets a carry off the left side and has room before knocked out of bounds. A nice chunk of yardage up to the 38-yard line to bring up a 3rd and 4.
4 carries, 50 yards for Javon Lewis.
That one was, 46, that big burst that he had. And as we mentioned earlier, really the two plays in the first half that Bethel Park had were the 2 big runs. Man in motion's Delano. Chickett gives to Lewis up the middle. Nice hole and a nice first down yard run. Needed 4, got 5 or 6 there before Lawton made the tackle.
A nice job of pulling by the left side of the Bethel Park Blackhawks line of scrimmage. Gavin Vargesco and Connor Woolley pulling to the right side of the offensive formation and opening up a good hole for Javon Lewis.
1st and 10 from the 34 here, 7.5 and counting in this 3rd quarter. 2 receivers right for Chickett. High formation, fake to Lewis. Chickett, time, throws one over the middle. Delano's there, and he makes a nice catch. In traffic, John Delano on pressuring from behind was Dylan Stenson. Delano was hit maybe even a little before the ball got there, but he made a nice grab and a nice gain inside the 10-yard line for Bethel Park.
That was a great catch by Delano. He had to really focus in on that football, as you mentioned. That might have been contact a little bit early, but hung with it, made a great catch.
And now he goes in motion to the right side again. I formation, give to the fullback up the middle. Is Matula. Chugs forward inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Call it a gain of 4.
A really nice drive for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. A drive that started on their own 42-yard line. Now has gotten them inside the Pine-Richland Rams 10.
Like that the first team offense is out here. Get some mojo going after a rough first half. Chickett gives to Lewis. Lewis hole up the middle. He's upended near the 5-yard line and fell forward down to the 3, maybe even the 2. On the run for Javon Lewis. Bring up 3rd and goal.
Nice job by Vince Buccino to come in and chop down the legs of Javon Lewis. I thought he was a cutback away from getting into the end zone, but a good shoestring tackle by Buccino.
And that actually was across the first down yard marker. It's 1st and goal, not 3rd and goal from the 2. I formation, Chickett. Gives to Delano. Delano, easy touchdown off the left side. John Delano, his 2nd touchdown rush of the evening. This one from 2 yards out makes it 54-13. And if there's anybody on that Bethel Park sideline that feels okay about his performance, it's definitely John Delano.
Yeah, he has looked good at times tonight. Not just running the football, but catching a couple of passes.
Extra point was missed wide left for Gummo. So score remains 54-13, 5:28 remaining in this third quarter. Remember that UPMC Sports Medicine is excited to once again be partnering with the Triblive High School Sports Network on the UPMC Stay Strong and Play On program. Student athletes will be recognized who remain dedicated to their teams and are determined to return to play while recovering from an injury. UPMC Sports Medicine will be granting 2 $1,000 scholarships at the end of the year to athletes who have managed to stay strong and play on. Nominate an athlete today. Click on the Stay Strong and Play On graphic at www.triblivehssn.triblive.com for details. (54-13). Pine-Richland will get the ball for the first time in this second half. And I would be beyond shocked if any starters were in there.
Yeah, excuse me, I agree. I think that's why Eric Kasparovich took those timeouts late in the first half, is to get as many reps for the first team offense in the first half. I think we probably have seen the last of Jerkovic.
And his numbers at the end of one half would have been spectacular for an entire game. Kickoff comes to the near sideline. It's fielded there at the 19-yard line. And cutting it back towards the middle with some room. And now across the 30, far sideline, 35. That's Shane Caffardi. And Caffardi with a nice return. See where they mark it. Looks like at the 41. Nice return for number 10. So we'll see who comes out for Pine-Richland. Ben McGregor is the backup quarterback, number 14. And it will be McGregor on offense for the Rams. They come out in their bunch set to the right with a receiver to the left. In the spread formation as normal. McGregor give to the running back next to him, and running across the 45 up to the 46 is number 24, Ryan Geyer. Gain of 5 yards on first down. Geyer's out there, Stenson, Shane Caffardi, excuse me. Vincent Tierno, Grant Krieger. Some of the skill players out there for the Rams. Taking their time is Pine-Richland with that running clock, and they can let the play clock go down to 1 virtually every time before they snap it, but they did not get it off this time. Delay of game. That'll be a penalty against the Rams. But FAR officials coming in and saying there's no delay of game. They got the timeout call in. So head coach Kasparovich calls a timeout. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 46. Some kids on the field with trying to give water to their team, and Pine-Richland's already trying to snap the football. Certainly some confusion here as to, hey, was there a timeout or was there delay of game? What happened? But yes, it was a timeout call. Hey, still, this is kind of puzzling here. Pine-Richland called a timeout but never left the field. Bethel Park wanted to regroup on their own, so they're in a huddle. Basically, we're just waiting for the officials to get things going again. And they have now, again, Ben McGregor, number 14, in at quarterback for Pine-Richland. Three receivers to the left, one to the right. Running back in there is Ryan Geyer. As Pine-Richland again will roll things down, under 5 seconds on the play clock. They'll get this one off. Give to the left, Ryan Geyer. Met immediately after touching the ball, and he lost the football. Fumble. Ball is on the ground. Who comes up with it? It's Bethel Park, so a turnover. Ryan Geyer fumbles. Bethel Park on the recovery, and that was number 24, Jared Yantak, that fell on the football.
That's not going to make Eric Kasparowicz all that happy. Certainly he understands that you got his second and third team in, but you don't want to see turnovers by any of your players. And unfortunately for the Rams, Geyer coughed it up on that second down run.
Yeah, no matter who's in there, what the situation is, want to try and hold on to the football. That's for sure. Under 2.5 to go here in this third quarter now. I-form set Chickett. Under center. Gives to Lewis. Javon Lewis. Nice move up the middle, and he's got room down the right sideline. Cross the 40, cross the 30, all the way inside the 20, inside the 10, and he runs out of bounds. We'll see where they mark that he stepped out. Looks like at the 12-yard line. But a nice chunk of yardage for number 22. Javon Lewis has had a couple nice runs here tonight.
35 yards on that first down run by Lewis. He's had runs of 35 and 46, 7 carries for 96 yards. And this young sophomore giving Bethel Park coaches a reason to sit up and take notice.
I-form set again, Chickett. Again, it's Lewis up the middle, big hole, dodges a tackle there, cut back move all the way in for the score. Javon Lewis, the 12-yard touchdown run, and it makes it 54-19. With the second team defense in there for Pine-Richland, Bethel Park has been able to show off that run game.
Lewis again able to break a tackle in the defensive backfield and waltz in for the 12-yard score. Pretty nice run by Javon Lewis.
Gummo on for the extra point. That one's good. That makes it 54-20 with 1:34 remaining in this third quarter. Take a short break and be back. You're listening and watching to WPIAL Football 2017 here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
Triblive is a little something for everyone. Sports from high school to the pros. News from across the street and around the world. Arts and entertainment, lifestyles, opinion, weather, photo galleries, video. You can even find your next job, house, and car. So look alive, Pittsburgh, and get the news you want and information you need all in one place. Triblive.com. Triblive.com. News and more 24/7.
1:34 on the clock in the third quarter. Cory Campano, Steve Nagler with me, Jess Levo on camera, filming this game here tonight. 54-20. Pine-Richland scored 54 points in the first half. That fumble by running back Ryan Geyer on the last drive, Bethel Park was able to capitalize. Now the return on the kickoff for Pine-Richland. Again, taking that as for Pine-Richland was number 10, Shane Cafardi. He got up across the 30-yard line, marked down at about the 34, and that's where Pine-Richland will set up this time around. And I'm sure head coach Kasparowicz wants the football secure.
Even though this game is ducked under the 35-point threshold, even though that has happened, once you get into the mercy rule scenario, it stays mercy rule till the end of the game.
Big score just came in 5A Franklin Regional, 26-23 in overtime over Armstrong. Try and get you some other important scoring summaries here as we move along. Handoff in the spread formation. That was McGregor handing off to Geyer. Geyer falling forward for 2 yards.
Number 79, Nathan Curry.
And that'll be the end of the third quarter. Pine-Richland no need to run another play. 54-20 is our score at the end of 3. Be back for the fourth quarter. You are listening and watching to 2017 WPIAL football here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
Fourth quarter action upcoming here from Bethel Park High School. Not the night Bethel Park had hoped for. On full display, the Ram offense just had their way with Bethel Park here tonight. And nothing against the Bethel Park defense or Bethel Park in general as a whole. Pine-Richland's just one heck of a football team. The numbers were pretty outrageous. Phil Jerkovic, just an absolutely huge first half, factored in on 5 touchdowns. Now his predecessor, Ben McGregor, in at quarterback. McGregor is a 5'9", 165-pound junior. Shotgun, read option, give to Geyer, and Ryan Geiger stuffed at the line. Got back to the original line of scrimmage and no further. So it'll be 3rd and 8 upcoming.
A good opportunity for Eric Kasparovich and his coaching staff to get a look at some other players. They have had a lot of that opportunity so far here. It has been a season of lopsided scores if you're a Pine-Richland fan. It has been good stuff. The only game that they really struggled in was in week 1 against Mount Lebanon, a game that was, again, a non-conference game. They won that one at home 53-29.
That's a pretty good struggle to have when you end up winning 53-29. Now we get a flag thrown. Couldn't tell if that was Pine-Richland or Bethel who jumped first there.
I think it's going to go against Bethel.
It is. Good call, Steve. Far left end jumped there. 5-yard penalty. It'll be 3rd and 3 for the Rams. Again, they were up 54-7 at halftime. That's why we have the running clock. Mercy roll over 35 points. And Pine-Richland, so weird seeing them taking their time on offense. They scored so quickly every single drive in that first half. Scored on every time they touched the football but one. McGregor, give to Geyer on the right side. Geyer looks for a seam, gets up near first down yardage. Depends on the spot. Needed 3, might have got about 2.5. Number 24 in white, Ryan Geyer, just a sophomore, will most likely be the feature back here next year or in 2 years. And he did have enough for the first down, so sticks move. Surprised, I was thinking about this coming into the game, Stephen. No, with the weather that is, no cramps.
Yeah.
Really, everybody's conditioned. Thought we would see some of that tonight.
Me too. It's not only hot, but very humid.
Odd time of the year for it to be the weather on hand here. Geyer again gets a carry up the middle, breaks a tackle, and then does a nice job. Keeps the legs moving up to the 48. Gain of 4.
Been a very strange last few weeks. We had all that weather with highs in the low to mid 60s at times. Really cool temperatures at night. And I had a feeling that since we were getting that weather in late August, we were going to have a bout of Indian summer. It's really been that way in the last week, and looks to extend out through midweek next week. Supposed to be highs near 90.
All
in the
sunny,
next few
too.
days.
It looks
Yeah.
great. No, I'm not complaining.
Not good for my lawn, I can tell you that. It is brown.
8.5 to go here. Pine-Richland trying to work another play call in. Coach Kasparovich has been throwing a play call in with about 12 seconds on the play clock each time. McGregor gives up the middle to Geyer. And Geyer up to midfield, stopped right there. Gain of 2. Will be 3rd and 4. Some of the athletes in the WPIL are featured every week on the MSA Sports Center stage, which you can view on our YouTube page. Log on to our website this fall at www.msasports.net and check out which athletes we're talking to. Plus, our weekly game lights are also now featured here on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
Third down 4 for the Rams.
Pretty impressed, actually, with how many fans have stuck around for a game that was 54-7 at halftime and stuck around for the homecoming ceremony. I know a lot of people on the Bethel Park sideline of the football were still here. Long drive back for the Rams faithful. Ben McGregor on a QB keeper. Nice run up the middle. Broke 2 or 3 tackles, took a shot at the end, but not before he gained 12 yards and a first down.
McGregor running that zone read. As a quarterback, you always look at that defensive end and what they're doing. The defensive end crashes down to kind of try to get to the running back. A lot of times that allows the quarterback to keep it and get out and around the defensive end.
What's impressive is McGregor looked terrific on that run, but I'm not sure I've seen anybody that I'd have more faith in than Dracovic when he's on the run. Got a great person to learn from ahead of him, does McGregor. Give to Ryan Geyer off to the right side again. Gain of 2, maybe 3 before knocked out of bounds. Mark it at the 36, so it was a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8. Nearing 6 minutes left in this contest. Coming up after the game, it's WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show with Don Rebel in the new MSA Sports Control Center of all the scores and recaps from Week 4. Don't miss the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show after the game, only on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com. In to get the carry this time is number 7 for Pine-Richland. That's Vince Buccino. Buccino off to the right side to the 32, gain of 4. It'll be 3rd and 4 for Pine-Richland. And as crazy as it sounds, with 5.5 to go, figure if they don't score a touchdown and it keeps moving, not too many plays more than that they have to run.
831-638. Orange ticket.
Officials on hand have spotted the ball, play clock running, and again, this gets into 10 seconds, and then Eric Kasparovich calls the play in. We're under 5 minutes left in this ball game. McGregor give up the middle. Buccino, nice job, falls forward on a 3rd and 4, gained 5. Another first down for Pine-Richland. Even the backups in there for the Rams. Some athletic ability on the field.
No doubt, this team is very deep, talented, and has, in all likelihood, the most talented single WPIAL player on a football field this year in Dracovic.
And Notre Dame is getting a special player. There's no doubt about that. It'd be interesting to see what he does at the next level. Give up the middle again. Buccino from the 32, the 27 to the 25, 2-yard gain.
Yeah, he's going to play some big boy football next fall for sure. And Notre Dame, although it has not been the powerhouse it had in the last couple of decades, they are looking to return to prominence. And
that offense, that they run there, Brian Kelly's offense certainly fits Dracovic. The up-tempo spread, kind of let him be the guy.
Sure.
And just run the show. It's been his show here at Pine-Richland for a couple years now, and just a phenomenal athlete. McGregor gives to Buccino, right side. Buccino has a seam down the right sideline, knocked out of bounds at the 10 after a 15-yard pickup. Vince Buccino with a nice burst. They actually mark him out way short of that at the 13. Gain of 12. Under 3 minutes left in this ball game. For several years, Prograss has been recognizing the efforts of the high school athletes in Western PA. Now that Prograss and AstroTurf have united under the AstroTurf name, the team in the new Triblive High School Sports Network is pleased to announce that AstroTurf has joined our high school sports family. AstroTurf is one of the most iconic brands in sports, and we are thrilled to have them on board. McGregor, broken play, keeps it himself. Is hit rather quickly. Up to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard to the 11, actually got 2 on the run. Did the backup quarterback for Pine-Richland. (54-20). Pine-Richland scoring all 54 points in the first half. They led 54-7 at halftime. It's pretty crazy. It was 7-7 at one point.
Yeah, 40 points scored by the Rams in the second quarter alone.
Buccino off the right side, takes a hit and bounces up to the 5-yard line. Gain of 6.
Buccino on the carry. Number 58.
It'll be third down for the Rams. 3rd and 1 from the 5-yard line, and as long as that first half was, it's as quick as it is in the second half with the running clock. We are down near a minute now left in this football game. It's been a pleasure to be here tonight, see the fine football program and team on display for Pine-Richland. Bethel Park will definitely rebound from this game as well. They'll be big-time players in this Southeastern Conference in 6A. Ben McGregor snaps and takes a knee on 3rd down, so it'll be 4th down now, and McGregor and the Rams can snap and then just run the clock out, I would think. Unless the officials just let this run and start the clock once there's 25 seconds left on the play clock, which they just might do.
Yeah, well, they just swapped out the football, which kills a little bit of time.
Pretty funny that they do that. Not sure why
Pine-Richland
would say
they started
football.
the play clock.
Yeah.
So they're going to have
just
to run one more
say,
play.
yeah, they're going to have to run a play here. And they're just going to let it run. It'll be a turnover on downs, but Bethel Park won't run a play. That's it. 54-20. Our final score. Pine-Richland moves to 5-0. Bethel Park falls to 3-1. We'll be back to wrap it up. 2017 WPIAL football on the MSA Sports Network, powered by Triblive.com.
MSASports.net is the place to click on every day this fall.
On Mondays, we have the latest MSA Sports Top 10 football rankings.
Also on Monday, we check in on the former district stars now making the grade in college with WPIAL alum Q&A.
Tuesday is a look back at the biggest and best plays from the previous Scholastic football weekend with the plays of the week.
We go big game hunting on Wednesday with a preview of the top WPIAL football contests.
I'll look into my crystal ball on Thursday with the wildly popular Chicks Picks.
A complete rundown of all the games comes your way on Friday, plus plenty of broadcasts to choose from on Friday nights.
On Saturday, we'll take a look at the top performances with Friday night highlights. Then on Sunday, a look back at the previous day's high school standouts with Saturday's Scholastic Stars.
Anytime, anywhere, always there this fall with the MSA Sports Network at MSASports.net.
AstroTurf, a pioneer in sports surfacing, proudly supports high school athletics. Visit one of their 280 fields in the tri-state area to see their cutting-edge technology. AstroTurf's focus on R&D enables them to provide innovative surfaces that protect athletes and stand the test of time. AstroTurf now propels performance with iconic turf fields and legendary Recor-Tan tracks. They manufacture, build, and maintain a full range of turf and track systems for total quality control. Learn more at astroturf.com. For the most complete recap of Friday night's WPIAL football action, tune in on your way home from the game to the MSA Sports Scoreboard Show here on the MSA Sports Network. Hi, I'm Don Rebel. Join me in the MSA Sports Gang for all the scores and recaps from the top games, plus the MSA Sports Roundtable. That's the MSA Sports Scoreboard Show after the game on Friday nights on the MSA Sports Network and at msasports.net.
54-20, our final. The Pine-Richland Rams stay undefeated in an impressive way, scoring 54 points in the first half. Bethel Park falling to 3-1. Next week, Pine-Richland hosts Central Catholic in a big game at Pine-Richland High School. Bethel Park goes to Hempfield. Big game for them in the Southeastern Conference. Hempfield struggling a bit to start the season. Bethel Park will look to rebound in a big conference game. But tonight, 54-20, Pine-Richland, a huge win. Steve, let's recap it.
Yeah, Jerkovic was the man in the first half for Pine-Richland. He scored initially on a 3-yard touchdown run a minute 50 seconds into this football game. Extra point was good. Pine-Richland had a 7-0 lead. Bethel Park was able to tie it with 4:57 to go in the first quarter. 70-yard touchdown run by Delano. Extra point was good, 7-7. But then after that, it was all Pine-Richland. A 5-yard touchdown run by Jordan Crawford, an 11-yard touchdown run by Crawford, happening within about a 4-minute span late in the first quarter, early in the second quarter, gave Pine-Richland a 20-7 lead. They'd also get 5 more touchdowns in the second quarter. A 17-yard touchdown pass from Jerkovic to Cam Belay, a 59-yard punt return by Luke Meckler, two 1-yard touchdown runs by Jerkovic, and then a 37-yard gem of a pass from Jerkovic to Ray Falcone with 26 seconds to go in the first half. It was 54-7 at the break. A couple of Bethel Park touchdowns in the third quarter. 2-yard touchdown run by John Delano cut the lead to 54-13, and then Javon Lewis, a 12-yard touchdown run with 134 to go in the third quarter. Extra point was good. That was our score at the end of the third quarter, and it's our score at the end of the game. 54-20, Pine-Richland defeats Bethel Park. Jerkovic, what a night for him. He only played the first 24 minutes of the football game and finished with outstanding numbers. 19-23 through the air, 355 yards of passing offense. 2 touchdown passes credited to Jerkovic. He also ran the ball 10 times for 35 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jordan Crawford, 8 carries on the night, 35 yards, a couple of touchdowns. 488 yards of total offense for the Rams, 281 total yards of offense for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Once again, your final score, Pine-Richland 54, Bethel Park 20.
Funny that it was 488 to 281 in yards of offense. I would have thought actually that the margin was a little wider in favor of Pine-Richland, but Bethel Park did have a couple big runs and big bursts for plays, especially John Delano. But Pine-Richland is just Pine-Richland. They are, as advertised, 54 points in the first half. Undefeated. They have a big game next week against Central Catholic. They were just on full display here tonight. Huge road win. They looked phenomenal. Steve, your final thoughts, if any?
Well, I mean, it's going to be tough to derail this Pine-Richland Rams team. Wasn't sure if they might come out a little bit flat with Central Catholic coming up next week. I think that's going to be their biggest challenge this year in the Northern 7. Central Catholic, the only other undefeated team in the conference coming into tonight. They were having their hands full with Seneca Valley this evening. But, you know, Eric Kasparovich had the Rams ready to go tonight, and they just came out and were dominant right from the get-go. They're going to be tough to derail, without a doubt.
Definitely the favorites to be the WPIAL champion this year in 6A, maybe even further than that. I could see it the way that they were on display here tonight. Rebounding from a 43-6 win, if you can believe that. They didn't look that great against Penn Hills last week. They were dominant tonight, 54 points and a half, 54-20 the final. The Pine-Richland Rams over the Bethel Park Blackhawks, thanks to Jess Levo for running the camera. For my broadcast partner, Steve Nagler, I'm Cory Campano, signing off as you were listening and watching to WPIAL Football 2017 here on the MSA Sports Network, and it's powered by Triblive.com.
You have been listening to WPIAL Football 2017 at MSASports.net. Sponsored in part by UPMC Sports Medicine, by Carlo University, by Chick-fil-A Robinson, and by Management Science Associates. You can follow the 2017 WPIAL football season and all of the fall high school sports every day by logging on to www.msasports.net. The preceding has been a special presentation of the MSA Sports Network.